And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, we have a ruling in the Fani Willis, I guess you would say, case. It's not about the Trump election interference case necessarily, but it is about that. She is allowed to remain on it, but there's more. We'll get to that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, we have yet another Boeing airplane incident, this time with a random panel falling off the flight from San Francisco to Medford, Oregon. Why are there so many incidents? Are there more incidents than usual, or are things being hyped up and publicized because of the whole door plug kerfuffle? We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, the Bling Bling Bishop, Lamor Whitehead, got sent to the penitentiary, Big Rocks, Little Rocks, for defrauding one of his elderly parishioners, trying to extort a businessman out of $500,000 for a loan, and also lying to the federales. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, we have 1,000 Family Dollar stores closing, but Karine Jean-Pierre told me, and Joe Biden told me, and leftists told me that the economy was doing just fine. They were adding new jobs every single day. If that's the case, I can't tell. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And shout out to you guys again. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing thus far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We got a whole lot going on, and there's going to be quite a few videos I've not shown you. But first things first, y'all know how I do. Shout out to you guys, of course, for being here. You guys are my sponsors, first and foremost, because without you, there is no me. And also, I got to give a shout out to my new channel, Uncle ABL. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the content. I'm glad you guys are really embracing my new venture. I really appreciate y'all for that. If you have not subscribed to the new channel yet, there's always a link in the description, and I'll put it right here. Yes, I'm spamming, but I'm only going to do that once or twice throughout the show. The new channel is right there. I just put up a brand new video about feminism. You know, is that a thing that needs to be taken hold in America? How do actual people on the street feel about feminism? That's going to be a really interesting video for a lot of you guys. And shout out to the It's Complicated YouTube channel for reaching out to me and saying, hey, let's get some reactions going. I'm with it. I'll be reacting to some more of their content as well. Shout out to them for allowing me to react to their stuff. But again, Uncle ABL, that's the brand new channel. Please subscribe to it if you're interested in that kind of content. If you're not, that's totally fine. If you're watching me over here at all, even one video, I really, really appreciate you. We got a whole lot going on, though, but of course, we got to talk about the other sponsors aside from you guys, aside from Uncle ABL. Shout out to the website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. If you go to the front page of the website, I have articles for each video that I produce. And in each article, I have sources from the left, from the right, from the conservative, the liberal, the national, the international, the local. I have all the sources, all the videos. Anything that I can post legally will be on the website, even if it's not on the YouTube channel. Again, AnthonyBLogan.com. Also, shout out to the contact page, AnthonyBLogan.com/contact. You can find my email address, my snail mail address, my UPS box, of course. Also, my social media platforms, my Facebook, Twitter, never going to call it X, and Instagram. All that good stuff is right there on the contact page, AnthonyBLogan.com/contact. Also, I almost forgot, shout out to the merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ABLMERCH.com. Again, ABLMERCH.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. All right, so we got a lot to get through. I don't even know where to start, but shout out to you guys. You go to the contact page on the website. That's my email. That's my real information. Don't get scammed. It's 2024. Y'all know the spiel. We don't want no, bald head Nigerian dude or somebody that's £1 million from Lithuania trying to scam you. Don't nobody got no time for that. That's just not what we're going to be into today. And we are going to be into the real content, the real news, the real information that they don't want to show you on mainstream, old school, washed up media. The old school media, they're dead. They're done. They're toast. They are toast. And they really want to come at us on the alternative side. I remember there was some kind of summit at the White House under Trump in which a lot of the old school media were covering new school media being invited to the White House. It was a standoff. It was really crazy. If I could find that actual video, it was wild. Let me see if I can find it. I think it was some kind of social media influencer summit at the White House. Yeah, actually, hold on. I see it, but I don't see it. I don't see the actual coverage of it. But it was crazy because the summit was about social media influencers, basically, and new school media were there covering it as they always are. They don't like us too much because they know that we are taking their job. They know that we can do what they can do, oftentimes better, and they can't do what we can do. So it's always going to be a conflict. But hey, man, that's just the way things are, man. That's the way the world goes. As society presses forward, technology presses forward, and people have access to be able to do certain things that they didn't have access to before. There's no more gatekeepers. The gatekeepers become irrelevant. Walls get broken down, and now we're all in it. That's just kind of how it goes. So yeah, shout out to the old school media. Hey, man, your time has, you have your space. Old school media has its space, but we have our space as well. So yeah, shout out to them and shout out to you guys again for watching. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Let's get to a few clips here. Shout out to the vape smokers. If you smoke vape, I don't know, man, just try to control it. You got to understand that one thing you cannot do is smoke on the plane, vaping, cigarettes, or if you are into the heavier stuff like crack or meth, I advise you don't do that. All right. Now, I don't know. Is it like permitted to bring a vape on the cabin of an airplane? How does that really work? Are you able to bring cigarettes? Like, can you have a pack of Newports in your front pocket in the cabin of an airplane? Is that permitted? I've never tried to get a pack of cigarettes through TSA because I don't smoke. But I'm asking you guys. I'm asking for a friend. All right, let's check it out. RIP to the headphone user. Sorry about the loud noise. Okay. Did you see that? Now check it out. Watch very closely. Lady right there at the window seat is going to vape right there in front of the flight attendant.
Okay. Okay.
You can't do that.
I apologize. Okay. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah. I would never vape again.
Okay, we're not doing this right.
Somebody said, ask Brittany Griner. Hilarious. Yeah, Brittany Griner, obviously, she had a little bit something extra with her vape. She had that weed in the vape, got locked up, made big rocks, little rocks. I still can't believe we traded the merchant of death for Brittany Griner. I'm not saying she should have been in the penitentiary necessarily for the weed, but number one, it's not the USA. And if you did that in the USA, you would still have some problems bringing weed, that much weed on the airplane. I don't think that's really legal, regardless of whether it's Russia, USA, or whatever. But the merchant of death, I think that's kind of crazy, but I digress. Now, she's lucky she didn't get kicked off because it could have happened. People looking at her, and you know what? One thing I'm always wondering when I see these cameras conveniently placed, there's always a conveniently cat-cornered camera just happening to film these incidents. I wonder if it's fake or real. I've seen quite a few of these airplane videos where it's obviously fake, but I think this one is a real airplane cabin. The other one had like your bedroom LED lights up under what would be the overhead storage, but it was no overhead storage. I think this is a real airplane right here.
All right, you picking me up? Oh, I see. Well, we can't promise anything, so good night.
Yeah, so hopefully, you know, people like that's the easy way to get kicked off. Vaping on the airplane, I suggest you don't do it. Also, you know what else is something you probably shouldn't do? Certain places, in certain parts of the country, we're going to get to that in a minute. In certain parts of the country, stealing is still bad. All right. Now, in other parts of the country, it's not really a big deal. Steal whatever you want. Steal whatever you want, and nobody will stop you. But in this case, I think it went the other way. So I'm not quite sure if we got store security, just a regular employee, or what's going on, but I'm hearing like a taser, and it looked like it was like a long stick. That might have been the cattle prod. If you got a cattle prod in the store, that's next level. Just, you know, that's something totally different. But yeah, some places you can't just do whatever you want to do. Now, I don't condone any kind of violence. I don't condone it at all. But you go into a store, you want to start trouble, you want to fight, you want to steal. In some parts of the country, you can't do that. You're just not going to be able to do it. It's just like if you want to break into somebody's house, right? You want to come to my neck of the woods and break into somebody's house. Man, look, you're getting deleted. Don't do it. The best way to not get deleted, to not get hurt, keep your hands to yourself. Don't break into people's spaces. Just, you know, mind your business and do right. And you won't get cattle prodded right there in front of the exit to this Rite Aid, CVS, or whatever that was. All right. So yeah, don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. You guys know, I know I'm preaching to the choir. You guys are not going to do such a thing. But yeah, certain parts of the country, you can't do that. But obviously, in certain parts of the country, you can do it. And I think that's part of the reason why $1,000 trees or dollar stores, dollar stores, $1,000 stores are closing. I kind of want to get into that a little bit now because that was a good segue into it. But 1,000
or the
dollar stores are closing. Now, this is something that's predictable. Although people like Joe Biden, Corinne Jean-Pierre, all the rest, they'll say, oh, well, the economy's doing well. We're adding jobs. We're great. There's no problems. If we're so great and there's no problems, and I can't tell, inflation is going through the roof. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And people may have jobs, but they may have 2 or 3 jobs to pay for the same things they paid for before with one job. And they still are struggling to make ends meet. But now we have $1,000 stores closing. And now I'm saying the wrong thing. Family Dollar. Thank you, Family Dollar. Yeah, because you got so many of these dollar stores. You have Dollar General, which is not included. Then you have Dollar Tree, and you have Family Dollar. Dollar Tree owns Family Dollar. And Dollar Tree, by the way, is headquartered in my neck of the woods in my old stomping grounds in Virginia, Chesapeake, Virginia. They built that, they actually built a new headquarters kind of recently within the past 5 to 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. And now, right after building this whole new complex in downtown, well, ain't no downtown Chesapeake. They're making it be a downtown. They built a whole brand new complex of stores and the headquarters and all kinds of stuff in Virginia. Right after that, now they're closing 1,000 stores. Let's check it out.
Tree is one of America's largest retail chains, but after a botched purchase of Family Dollar in low earnings, it will close 1,000 of its stores nationwide. They say large part because they're underperforming. But so Dollar Tree purchased Family Dollar. Okay, now see, that's what's going on.
And now Dollar Tree, after purchasing Family Dollar, is closing 1,000 Family Dollars. That's what's happening. And before we continue, are you really surprised? If you've gone to a Family Dollar recently, they always look like they're in a state of disrepair, like they're on the brink of closing. I was in one recently. It looked like I took a time portal back to 1997. All right. A time portal. You could tell that these stores were always in danger of closing. But since we have this current economic situation, they're forced to close. They can no longer just stay in that constant state of being on the brink. They're being forced to close. And I think this same situation will affect other stores that are in a similar situation.
But where exactly did they go wrong? Joining us now from RetailWire.com, Dominic Misertendino. Dominic, good to hear you. Good to see you this morning. And we hear something like this about Dollar Tree closing. Why? There was a dip in sales, of course. There was this merger. So where did they go wrong, essentially?
It's all an operational issue. It started at the purchase, and now they're looking at which stores are underperforming and eliminating those underperforming stores.
So let me ask you this. Aside from the obvious of items only costing $1.
And look, you see, hold on. You see the way this looks? That's kind of how they always look. It's like it's bars. It's like you're about to go to a penitentiary commissary or something like that.
Only costing $1 or so in these stores. What I guess what was done before this merger, where they said to themselves, okay, you know, we can kind of turn this around and maybe not have to close these stores, when now just the opposite is happening?
Well, I think the story here is that they were trying to serve, they've been in these communities, and these communities, they might be the only store that serves this entire community in this area. So they've been trying to price it such a low price point, it actually pushed out other stores. Now these communities are basically dependent upon these stores, and with the elimination of so many, you're going to have quite a few little deserts.
So I guess,
yeah, a lot of these stores, a lot of communities are dependent upon these kind of low income stores. And beyond Family Dollar, also Dollar General. A lot of times you'll see Dollar General in very rural areas. See, a lot of these stores, they'll be in hood areas, ghetto areas, inner city areas, but they're also in small rural towns. I was in South Georgia recently. Like, I'm talking about close to the Florida line. And I saw, it was like, you see like little small towns that are just, you know, not kind of off the beaten path a little bit. And it'll be a little town area, and it'll be a Family Dollar and other kind of little spots like that in these small areas. But now that they're closing 1,000 of them, these areas could be negatively impacted by that.
People then ask who live in these communities, and as you just mentioned, these stores are in communities where people need to save money on items that they necessarily couldn't pay a higher cost for at places like Walmart or Costco, or places like that. So now what do they do? What is the next move? What do you tell these people where, as you just mentioned, there's now going to be kind of a consumer desert in some of these areas?
That's the issue, because they might have been one of the few jobs in the community. They might have been one of the few places to get any form of resource that they needed. And these are people maybe who could not afford to go to a Walmart, etc. And that was the differentiator.
Now, one thing about these stores, a lot of these stores like this with the low income area stores, they get stolen from all the time. Back in West Virginia, they opened a Dollar General right in my little hometown in Rand. They opened a Dollar General. They closed down Rand University, the little 7-Eleven right there. I think it might be reopened as a different store. But anyway, they put a Dollar General right there. Now, this is an area where there's no grocery store. You got to go kind of away from the town to get to a grocery store. There's no grocery store. There's no stoplights. It's a small town. It's like not too much there. They got a Fast Check, which is like similar to this. They might have some produce there, but really you got to go kind of up a little way. You got to go to Quincy, or you got to go to town in Charleston to get what you need, right? Anyway, they put a Dollar General up, and immediately the managers were like, people were stealing from it every day. Every day they were hitting that store hard. a store where you get in the cheap China items, cheap food items. They steal from it because you're in a very low income area, a poor rural area. They're going to steal from a dollar store all day long. So if you have a dollar store in a city area where it's poor and there's no real penalty for stealing, you're going to have a store that cannot stay open. You're going to have all those factors go into it. And plus, you got a bad economy, inflation, that's going to factor into it. That's going to cause the crime to go up as well.
This was the store that served those communities, and the elimination of 600 Family Dollars is affecting 600 communities, not only the people working there, but every consumer who was going there for their day-to-day needs.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about, too. The impact it has not only on the people shopping in these stores, but the people working in these stores that are now going to be out of work. This is not just, 30 or 40 stores. We're looking at 1,000 of these stores nationwide.
Correct. And that's my biggest concern, is that when you're talking about 1,000 communities, but you're also not talking about communities where there's an alternative sometimes. This might be the only store in town. So I don't think we're going to see what happens. And I think the story there is watch what happens to these communities. Does something fill in? Does something jump in the way?
They're going to try to put something else there, like a Dollar General. See, when they close Family Dollar in a lot of these areas, like there's some money to make, but it's going to be a razor thin profit margin at best. They might put a Dollar General there or something like that there. Maybe it'll be some kind of small little upstart company, mom and pop shop might fill the space, but it might just be a vacant. Somebody says the Dollar General stays busy in their area, but they got robbed at gunpoint. Yeah, that'll happen. Yep, rob it at gunpoint, you might take $500. But you in a small little rural area, sometimes that's kind of what you're going to get. It is what it is. So, yeah, shout out to the booming economy. Build back better, right? That's what we're talking about. Build back better. It's all good. No problems. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry yourself about it. Now, check this out. Speaking about city areas and things that happen. Now, what is your man doing right here? This is Free Attle, Washington, as we always talk about. I wonder if my man right here is going to his local Family Dollar or what's going on. He is skiing in the streets with his full ski gear on. I'm not quite sure what he has on for his shoes. Are these rollerblades?
This is why Seattle sucks.
Like, what are those on his feet? Do you guys see this? And he's like stopping right in front of the vehicle. And it's like, he's like upset at the guy for driving in the road. Sir, I need you to get your urban ski gear, your urban road ski gear out of the way. Don't nobody got time for this, man. Nobody has time for this. These are the kind of people that like to smoke crack all day that get in your way. All right. I don't like that. And a guy like this, he's the kind of guy that would go to a Family Dollar and steal things for no reason. And that's part of the reason why they're going to close down nationwide. All right. So, yeah, shout out to him. Yo, man, look, we're not doing that today, sir. We are not doing that today. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. I got a few more clips for you guys. All right. Let me see what I got going on. Oh, this guy, they were trying to recruit him over in Ukraine, and he wasn't going. The caption says, in Ukraine, one of the military commissars tried to drag the man to the military fronts against his will. So the man began beating him and expelling him. Okay, I'm not quite sure where this person is from as far as the actual caption writer. What country says expelling as a thing that they do when we talking about beating somebody up, but I digress. So he was not really feeling the attempt at the guy to bring him to the front line or whatever was going on there out there in Ukraine, Russia, whatever that is. And speaking about Ukraine and Russia and the war that's not going to end, anytime soon. It's going to be a stalemate for a while. I had a video of the Pope. I'm not quite sure. I don't think I showed it, but I got to show this because it really fits what's going on right now. The Pope is like, look, man, wave the white flag. Wave the white flag. Like, what are we doing? Because at the end of the day, you guys are not going to actually succeed. So let's just stop playing games here. Hold on. Let me see if I can put it up on the screen. You guys are not going to win. Let's stop playing games. Hold on. And I want to hear you guys' opinion about this after I put it up. So the Pope, the caption says, the Pope says Ukraine should have the courage to raise a white flag and negotiate an end to the war. Quote, the word negotiate is a courageous word. When you see that you are defeated, the things are not going well, you have to have the courage to negotiate. Let's check this out. And I'm not saying I'm the fan of the Pope. I'm not into popery at all. Shout out to the Protestants. And shout out to the Catholics. Nothing against you guys, but it's just not my get down. And even if I was Catholic, he would not be my friend. But what he's saying right here, I think makes sense. And I want to hear you guys' point of view. It's going to be in Italian, obviously, but there will be subtitles.
Ma credo che è più forte.
Well, the subs are also, I think, in Italian, but you get the idea of what's going on.
Quello che vede la situazione, pensa al popolo e ha il coraggio di la bandiera bianca e negoziare.
So I don't speak Italian, but I can kind of understand. I know his body language. Okay, let's negotiate. Talking about Ukraine and Russia. Now, I'm not going to play too much more because it's in Italian and it's Italian subs, but what do you guys think? Do you think that it makes sense for there to be negotiation from Ukraine to end the war, or should there not be negotiation? Should they keep on fighting because Russia is the aggressor? What do you do in this situation? If it's me, I say let's just bring it into the war because it's not going to end. It's a stalemate at best because what's happening? What's happening is Ukraine is being given just enough to keep going, just enough to keep the bloodshed flowing. They're not being given enough to win because they cannot win. Russia's not going to stop because if they do stop, then Ukraine becomes basically NATO taking over, and that can't be a thing. You already got Finland, Sweden, all these places. That's Norway. You got the Baltic states, Norway. Belarus is like the only, bordering place that's not NATO. Ukraine, they're trying to become NATO or become basically a vassal of the rest of Europe. So they don't want that to happen, and they're trying to ward it off. That's why the war will never end until there is some kind of, I guess you would say, ceasefire. That should be what it is. Surrender, exactly. Peace talks are needed. Russia should give up. Now, why would Russia give up? The thing, even if you think Russia should give up, why would they give up? Okay. Yeah, Ukraine's not going to win any battles. They can't because they don't have enough. They don't have enough, and they're not going to be given enough to actually succeed because if they do, what's going to happen is Russia is going to attack whoever allowed that to happen. Ukraine could be given a nuke right now, and they could hit Moscow, and then that'd be a strike right there. But see, if you do that now, you're going to have a nuclear fallout. And it won't just be Russia fighting. It'll be the whole world fighting. Everybody. It'll be the USA. It'll be China. It'll be Korea, Japan. It'll be India. It'll be everybody fighting because everyone will have interest in that particular kind of conflict. A nuclear fallout, that'll damage the whole world. That's called mutually assured destruction. So what happens is you have your man Zelensky show up every few days in a pair of sweatpants to the White House asking for a few billion more dollars, and then he'll get it. And then we keep getting further. We keep going further and further and further and further into debt. Further into debt. What's the debt clock right now? $33 trillion. Oh, of course, in the military industrial complex, making them big dollars, big money, big bags money to the military industrial complex. That's what's happening. Okay. That's still a thing that's going on. All right. Now, meanwhile, let's come back to the good old US of A. Let me see what my next one is going to be. All right. We got crime in the streets. We got all kind of things happening in the streets. Here's what I want to show. This video is kind of going viral a little bit of my man Andre Boyer out there in Philadelphia. Andre Boyer, I think he might have been a cop at one point and is not a cop anymore to say he got fired or whatever, but he's out here doing like private security work. A lot of what he does is he'll go to like gas stations when they'll hire him to come be security, because there's always crime and violence at gas stations. People use these places to get gas, obviously, and also as like some kind of store, and people walk to the store, a lot of elderly, and they can't go there because of all the crime and the violence. My man Andre Boyer comes in and he cleans things up. Now, he's going viral because of all of what he has on. He has all the attachments, all the equipment. You see the magazine. This is a bullpup shotgun. So what you have here is a shotgun magazine. This is not a rifle. This is a shotgun. But let's hear what he got to say. You know, you see the big weapon, and I think that might be for shot value. If you got these young boys coming up to the gas station in Philly, one to act a fool, one to shoot guns or whatever, they may have like a little 9mm, 45, 22, something like that, little pocket protector type situation. My man right here has a crazy Call of Duty type situation going on. That's going to be a deterrent. But let's hear what he has to say.
And the mayor, the commissioner, and the governor said, we're going to do something about the thefts. They passed new legislation that they're going after people who just want to randomly steal and think they're going to get a sweet cake walk.
How they just go in the store and take them food?
That's not going to happen anymore. Not in the city of Philadelphia. You're going to get prosecuted, and it's going to be a felony. It ain't going to be a misdemeanor.
Can you say something to the youth, please, about all this that's going on?
Well, all I have to say to the youth is put down the guns. Because if you come here with a gun, the chances are you're not going to make it home. I hate to say it like that, but we have to keep it real. This is Philadelphia. I've never seen it like this before, where young people shoot up a bus depot station, 40 rounds, and shoot innocent people.
So you got a lot of these kids that are just shooting up indiscriminately. He says he shot up a bus depot station, 40 rounds, just shooting indiscriminate, just acting purely crazy.
Something must be done. I say this to the parents. Go in your children's room, tear it apart, and find that gun. Because when they kill somebody, that's on you.
Now, people kind of got the wrong, it was weird comments. They said he's railing against guns while he has this big crazy weapon right here on him. It's not about that. It's about, okay, your 14-year-old has a gun he stole from somebody's car in Philadelphia and is using it to commit crime. That's the actual problem. We ain't talking about lawful gun owners. We're talking about 14 to 15-year-olds, prohibited possessors, guys that already got rap sheets and warrants and gang members. We're talking about these guys out here committing crime, not lawful gun owners. If you're a lawful gun owner, this message is not for you as far as don't have the guns in your house committing crime. All right, lawful gun owners don't go shoot up a bus depot station indiscriminately, letting off 40 rounds, hitting innocent men, women, and children. They don't do that. I'm a lawful gun owner, allegedly, at one point before the Boeing accident, and I've never put my gun on anybody because I follow the law. I'm not a criminal. I'm not a miscreant, a thug, a ne'er-do-well, or anything like that.
You can't say, well, my child ain't. You know what your children are doing. It is your job. That's your house. You own it. You are the commander and that chief in that house. Go to your children's house, your room, and look for these weapons. Stop it before it's too late. Either you bury your child or you going up to prison every month visiting your child. It takes a community to stop this. It's not just on the police department. That's why we're out here. But it's not all about locking people up. You have to educate these people. You have to educate these young people. Guns is not the way. But there's a group of them that believe in robbing and stealing and killing. And those are the ones we have to capture and put away.
So shout out to my man Andre Boyer out there in Philadelphia talking about all the gun violence from these young, a lot of these kids is 14, 15. You got like these young high school age gangbangers that are just out here doing whatever they want to do. That's going to be the problem in a place like Philadelphia. All right. And he's speaking about that specifically. And for you guys who are wondering, that is a shotgun. So it's not a 100-round magazine. It's probably like 19, 20 shells in there. You're talking about shotgun shells, not 223 or 5.56. You're talking about shotgun shells in that magazine right there. And yes, it is a functioning magazine. That is a functioning weapon, the bullpup shotgun. Yep. So shout out to him. Hey, you got to have that heavy firepower when you out here in these streets dealing with these criminals who don't care. They don't care about any kind of, look, these guys, these 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds out here robbing and stealing and killing, they don't care about nothing. They like, you trying to talk to them, it don't matter. Sometimes you got to show them that firepower, and sometimes you got to put the firepower on them for them to learn. That's just the reality of the situation. All right. Now, speaking about crime, did you guys hear about the story? I think one of you guys told me about the story of the guy who pushed his girlfriend onto the tracks in New York City and then her feet got amputated. Now, I have more about that story. Okay. Let's check it out.
Let this guy out.
Jenny Aquino and her daughter Bella are still traumatized and now terrified, knowing they're...
So let's start from the top. And there's a caption here. It says, new questions on why an alleged subway pusher was free and not in jail. So let's start from the all the way top. Recently, this guy right here on the bottom left-hand corner pushed the woman right there on the right onto the subway tracks, and she was actually hit by the train, and the train basically cut her feet off. She had to get her feet amputated in the hospital afterward. And the guy had already been arrested for a crime before that and shouldn't have been out on the streets. This is a result of the quote-unquote bail reform policy that they have in New York City, where you letting these violent, dangerous criminals out when they should be in. And of course, when they're out, when they should be in, they often commit more violent crime, like almost taking the life of the mother of his child, if I'm not mistaken. Let's keep on going.
Not let this guy out.
Jenny Aquino and her daughter Bella are still traumatized and now terrified, knowing their attacker is again accused of attempted murder. Christian Valdez was convicted of stabbing the mom and daughter on their Bronx fire escape in 2017.
I just remember what happened.
The sixth grader was only 4 at the
Now, this might not be her. This might not be the person that was on the subway platform that had her feet amputated, because obviously she's standing up with no assistance, no wheelchair or nothing like that.
time, but the ordeal left her with mental and physical scars. Over the weekend, the girl and her mother saw Valdez on the news. The 30-year-old ex-con allegedly threw a romantic partner onto subway tracks as a train pulled in. Both of the victim's legs are now amputated.
Okay, so there was somebody else. It was somebody else.
Do not let him come out. Do not let him come out because he's going to keep doing it.
So she was thrown on the subway. She was attacked, and then somebody else was attacked. I guess the guy was locked up for attacking her. He gets out and then attacks somebody else, and then both of that person's legs were amputated by getting hit by the subway train.
Do not let him come out. Do not let him come out because he's going to keep doing it.
Velez allegedly did this while on parole for stabbing the Aquinos. Not to mention, Valdez is accused of trying to murder an ex-girlfriend last December.
Look at this. Look at the charges. Okay, 2017 assault, 23 like December 23 recently attempt murder, March 24 another attempt murder.
Days after being released from prison, 2 violent crimes in which parole was allegedly violated.
After having violated parole once, and he's doing it a second time, I mean, the chances of his remaining out now, I think, are nil.
We'll see. We'll see about that. Is New York City, don't underestimate the incompetence of New York City.
Questions remain as to why Valdez was on the street and not in jail. According to former New York City Administrative Judge Barry Kamens, those on the bench have discretion, but he says this is eye-raising.
Which is very unusual. I'm surprised that he's out. He had to go before a judge on that parole warrant, and bail had to be set. Obviously, if he was out on the subway, the judge released him on that prior case.
Something that keeps the former victims up at night.
If he comes out, he's going to do it again.
So yeah, that was somebody said it in the chat. The woman right here at the top of the screen, that is his prior assault victim. The person on the right-hand side is the new assault victim. and the new assault victim got her legs amputated. I think that's what happened. Yeah, it's a mess. Well, not her full legs, but her feet. I mean, a distinction without a difference. Anyway, I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, let's go to something a little bit lighter because that was pretty heavy. That was pretty heavy. Let's see what's happening here. I'm not quite sure where this is, but we're going to possibly figure out. Okay, can I play? Is it going to play for... Okay, maybe not. I guess I don't want to play.
What are your pronouns?
They, them.
Why?
Because I'm non-binary.
What are your pronouns?
She, her.
And why?
I don't know, that's just what they are.
What are your pronouns?
Lord or king.
Cool.
What are your pronouns?
They, them.
Why?
Because that's how I identify.
Now, do you guys think that all this pronoun stuff is just a little phase that we're going through? People got bored during the pandemic because at a certain point, I mean, when you're just redefining language and what it means, plural identities for one person, at a certain point, it's going to have to come to an end. And as you can hear, we have British accent, sir. British accent, sir. So that kind of toxic ideology is spread. It's like a virus. Hopefully, we are going to be done with that pretty soon. All this, it's trendy. It's trendy. And I think a lot of this kind of stuff has come from social media, apps like TikTok and everything else. That's probably where a lot of this stuff has originated. People love TikTok for some reason, but I'm not really a fan. Let's keep on going.
I'm against racism. I'm against oppression.
Have you experienced racism?
Well, no, but that doesn't mean that I can't be against it. Because racism is caused by capitalism. Yeah, and we have to overthrow capitalism. Get rid of it. To get rid of racism.
Okay, so he's experienced racism, I guess, by capitalism.
I'm against racism. I'm against oppression.
And look, actually, what am I looking at right here? Is this a male or a female? Look, man, at this point, I don't even know what's going on. I'm hearing a former NFL football player in the voice, but I'm seeing something a little bit different in front of me. I can't tell what's happening. You got a lot of things going on. You got the Bruce Jenner voice. You have the Muslim scarf. You got a lot happening here, boss. I don't know what's going on. But capitalism and racism, what does that got to do with anything?
Have you experienced racism?
Well, no, but that doesn't mean that I can't be against it. Because racism is caused by capitalism. Yeah, and we have to overthrow capitalism. Get rid of it. To get rid of racism.
I don't know what's happening. I think that might be a man. I'm looking at these triceps and everything. I don't know no more. It's hard for me to really guess. You know, sometimes I get fooled. You know, like every now and again I go to Atlanta. Y'all know how I do. I go to Atlanta and Nashville. I go to both places, and sometimes I happen to be like if I'm in Midtown somewhere, you might see a person that looks like the first Rihanna, 2007 Umbrella Grammy Award Rihanna. You might see that person, and then you walk up on them, and you hear Coleman Domingo, you hear Will Smith in the voice, you hear a whole full-grown man in the voice. It's crazy. They will fool you. But some of these guys are not really fooling me. All right? Some of these guys looking like Brock Lesnar, they're not really fooling me. But some of them will fool you, at least at first, until upon further examination, they will fool you for sure. This is the evil world we live in for real. It really is. Now, let's check out some more.
Do you think...
Shout out to Malik Snaps. He has some pretty good stuff.
Do you think genitals define gender?
No.
If genitals don't define gender, why does removing them affirm it?
A person will feel more affirmed if they change their genitals, and it'll help affirm them societally.
Would you say then genitals do define gender?
No, I don't think so.
Still say no?
No.
So what do you have to say to the person that says you are what you're born with and you just need to accept it?
Fuck you.
Oh, whoa, wait, why's it gotta be all that? You know, that's what they normally do when they don't have a good argument, when they don't want to really participate anymore, then they start cussing and acting the fool. But yeah, it's a good question. It's like, look, if your equipment is irrelevant, then why are you changing it and altering it and doing all these different things? Why go through all these changes to appear to be something else if it doesn't really matter? Okay. Why go through all of that? What is really going on? All right. It's a mess, but that's what's happening out here in these streets. Y'all please be safe. Now, going back to New York right quick, speaking about the economy this time, this person says it's easier to not work in New York City. You have an easier time simply not working, just sitting on your hot parts doing nothing. Let's check this out. All right, give me a second and let's rock it and roll it.
Can I tell you something crazy about New York? Not having a job makes your life so much easier. I know you're like, huh? So boom, let's say you got mad kids and you don't want to work.
Them New York accents. So boom, you know what's up? Like the real aggressive. Shout out to all the New Yorkers out there though.
You just want to stay home all day, smoke weed, be lazy. Go to the shelter, free housing. What's the next step? An apartment, free housing, or you're gonna have a little copay. But guess what? You don't have a job, so where's the copay gonna come from? Cash assistance. Where's the food gonna be coming from? Food stamps. So as long as you don't have a job, you will always have a roof over your head and you will always have food in your stomach. They will always look out for you.
Wow. Is that true, New Yorkers? Is that true? If you don't have a job, you're always going to be good to go. You're always going to be good money. You have food in your stomach, roof over your head, all that good stuff. Is that true? Let's go back and hear it from the top. Let's hear it from the top.
Can I tell you something crazy about New York? Not having a job makes your life so much easier. I know you're like, huh? So boom, let's say you got mad kids and you don't want to work. You just want to stay home all day, smoke weed, be lazy. Go to the shelter, free housing. What's the next step? An apartment, free housing, or you're gonna have a little copay. But guess what? You don't have a job, so where's the copay gonna come from? Cash assistance. Where's the food gonna be coming from? Food stamps. So as long as you don't have a job, you will always have a roof over your head and you will always have food in your stomach. They will always look out for you.
That's crazy. That is totally crazy. And you know what? That kind of thing, a lot of liberals think that's a good thing. They think that it's good that you always have food in your stomach, roof over your head. But what they don't understand, they think that's going to be a way to solve homelessness. Okay? That's what they think. But the reality is that you're going to incentivize homelessness because you're going to attract people that are homeless from other parts of the country and other parts of the world. That's what's happening right now with the migrants. Okay, look, you guys are favorable to those without jobs, to those without homes, homeless people. All right, cool. So check it out. I'm going to come from the Democratic Republic of the Congo in Africa through South America, Central America, and make my way to New York City. And I'm going to just be there and take advantage of your system. And now they're being overloaded to the point where now they're having to cut some of those same things you're talking about. Some of those city services, you got to cut city services out to pay for the migrants. How much do the migrants cost New York City? Billions at this point? And I saw there was an estimate from the House committee. I think it might have been the House GOP committee. And they said nationwide, not just New York City, but nationwide, since summertime 22, migrants have cost us $450 billion, almost $500 billion, $500 billion in about 18 months. So yeah, I don't know how this can persist for too much longer, but here we are. Here we are. Now, speaking about the USA and homelessness and money that we're spending to subsidize homeless people, which again, all it's going to do is attract more, because if I can go smoke crack all day and not work, and I can still eat and have a roof over my head, I'm going to go to New York. Why would I be in Podunkville, USA, smoking crack, struggling, when I can go to New York? I got all the crack available to me right there. I can shoot up, smoke, whatever I want to do right in the street and not going to trip. And then at night, I go sleep in the shelter. I'm good. I'm good to go. Yeah, that's kind of what's going on. Somebody says it. J Balu says $398 a day for each illegal. $398 a day. A lot of American citizens work their fingers to the bone and can't make that much money in a day from their job. But they get that just because. But I'm being told, oh, ABL, the migrants do jobs that Americans don't want to do. Matter of fact, hold on. I think I saw something about Tyson. Was it Tyson Foods? Y'all know what I'm talking about, where they fired a bunch of people and now they're going to hire the migrants, allegedly. Hold on. We're going to get to that in a moment, and also Canada. I gotta show the Tyson situation. All right, here we go. I think I had this story lined up a little bit later, but I'm gonna show it right now because it kind of fits. So this is from Wall Street Silver. Well, Fox News. The caption says, "You are being replaced. Tyson Foods is firing American workers and replacing them with illegal aliens." Adding insult to injury, Tyson Foods will also provide lawyers to help with immigration hearings, quote unquote. Do you believe this? Now, let's check it out. Let's see if that caption is accurate or what's going on. All right, let's look.
Iowa is about to change drastically, and not for the better. This week, Tyson Foods announced that it will be permanently closing its pork factory in Perry, killing around 1,200 jobs in a town of just 8,000 people. So as Perry residents struggle to cope with mass layoffs, Tyson Foods has its eyes on a different class of workers. The company is now offering new jobs to asylum seekers in other states like New York. Bloomberg says Tyson's tracking migrants in a massive database. They scroll through the data like Facebook. You see a worker you like, tap, hire.
Pause. So let's read this excerpt. It says Tyson is joining the nonprofit Tent Partnership for Refugees, which was founded by Chobani yogurt magnate Hamdi Ulukaya, with a plan to hire some of the 181,400 migrants that have come through New York City. All right, let's keep on going.
They even had a job fair.
And that excerpt came from Bloomberg News.
You were at a Tyson fair in New York City not so long ago where Tyson was basically making this pitch. What did you observe when you went there?
They created a database for these new asylum seekers in New York City. So these people would come in, they'd learn a little bit about the company, and for the most part, Tyson had already gone through their various details of their application. And so many of them, 17 the day I was there, and then another 70 a couple weeks later, went off to Tennessee to go start their new jobs as Tyson production workers.
Oh, and the jobs come with perks, not just health insurance. Tyson's also offering lawyers to its illegal alien workers and time off to attend immigration hearings. In 2034, of course, they're firing Americans and offering perks to illegals. This was the Democrat plan all along.
Well, first of all, let's just say we are a nation of immigrants. 460,000 open jobs today. Wow. I have 5,000 farm jobs that I need filled so we can plant the crops.
Vegetables would rot in the ground if they weren't being picked by many immigrants, many illegal immigrants.
You see, even in Florida, some of the farmers and the growers saying, why are you shipping these?
So, I mean, there we have it. It's right there, right in front of our face. They're telling you to plan. But then when you say something like, you know, the replacement theory, oh, you're a racist. You're see, that's called gaslighting. They're saying they want to replace you. They're literally closing factories, closing processing plants that are staffed by American citizens, but they have their eyes on the migrants. So they'll close one thing down and then hire a bunch of the migrants. Why not just transfer the workers from one place to another? No. We're going to transfer the migrants from New York City to Tennessee rather than Indiana to Tennessee, which is closer. It's right there. It's like, Indiana actually borders Tennessee, but we're not going to do that. We're going to bring them from all the way from New York City because they're migrants. We can pay them less, take advantage of them or whatever. I've said it. Have I not said it? One more time, I'm going to say it for you guys. The migrants are the new slaves. Am I making sense now? We see it right here on television. They're talking about it. They're putting it in the news articles. They're putting it on Bloomberg, putting it on Fox. You got people in politics, Nancy Pelosi. They're all talking about it. It's out in the open. You can't make this stuff up. I can't make it up. I cannot make it up if I tried. And you know what else I cannot, if I tried, make it up? the Canadian Supreme Court. Now, do I have any Canadians in the house? Shout out to the Canadians, the great white North. Shout out to you guys. But your Supreme Court, like, what is really happening with your Supreme Court? What is the deal? What am I looking at here exactly? Okay, have you guys ever seen the Canadian Supreme Court? You ready? That is a real picture of the Canadian Supreme Court. Now, what's up with the Santa Claus outfits? Now, please pardon my ignorance. Don't nobody get offended. Oh, it's cultural clothing, ABL. Don't call him Santa Claus. Look, call me an ignorant American, but all I see is Santa Claus. All I see is Santa Claus. But anyway, aside from the crazy picture, the headline, the caption here is crazier. Canada's Supreme Court has been ridiculed after ruling that referring to a female sexual assault victim as a quote-unquote woman was confusing, and the term person with a vagina should be used instead. Huh? What? I mean, back in my day, here's old man shakes fist at cloud. Back in my day, it was very simple. A woman was a woman, adult human female. A girl, talking about a minor human female. This is basic stuff. You know, I'm on Duolingo learning, right, Spanish. And when they're talking about, like, they show a picture, they'll say, what's this? El hombre. Or it'll be a boy, a hijo. It's simple. It don't be person with X amount, X, you know. And then here's something else, though. Here's something else. What if you get something removed? Okay, what if you go the Bruce Jenner route and you get something taken off? So how are you to be referred to then? How does that really work? This is crazy. This is crazy. But hey, it's 2024. That's where we are nowadays. All right. So yeah, shout out to the Canadians. This is a mess. It's a mess. Now, what else is a mess? Let's talk about Toronto and people that are eating from food banks in Toronto, believe it or not. Hey, Diane, see, look, Diane asked a question. Diane said, do they want us to call a man a person with a penis? Well, what if you, chop it off? Lorena Bobbitt, Bruce Jenner. What if it's gone? Then what? How does that really work? If you don't have it anymore, then what? I don't understand. It's aside, things don't have to be so confusing. We could just say man and we could say woman. Whatever you want to do with yourself beyond that, that's your business. Okay, you want to get surgery, you want to do this and that and nip and tuck. Okay, cool. But check it out. When you were born and the doctor slapped you, you were a boy or a girl. Pink blanket, blue blanket. That's it. Your birth certificate, it tells you what you are right there. Let's just go with that and avoid all the confusion. All right. Now, you might be kind of androgynous. You might be 6'8" like Brittany Griner with a big head and everything else looking crazy. But guess what? You still, at the end of the day, are a woman or a man. There's no chromosome changing surgery quite yet. All right. Let's keep on going. All right, let's put it on the screen here. This is about people eating out of food banks in Toronto.
Eating at food banks in Toronto today would fill.
Hold on, let's go from the top.
People eating at food banks in Toronto today would fill the Rogers Centre 7 times. That is life in Toronto after 8 years of Justin Trudeau winning every single seat in that city. Toronto, what have you got for voting for Justin Trudeau? Your streets are crawling with crime and chaos. You can't afford the rent. There's division like never before in our streets. Places of worship are under attack. People who've lived there all their lives no longer feel at home. The big cities that voted for Justin Trudeau are suffering the most because of his disastrous and costly policies. You know, look at the crime. Violent crime is up 40%. People eating it.
So, is that true, Toronto? Do you guys, anybody live in Toronto? Is that what's happening right now? You got crime and violence. You got food banks that are really being not taken advantage of, but they're being utilized a lot because people don't have the money to be able to, go to the grocery store and eat. Like, what's going on? It sounds like us. Yep, sounds like us. Same thing happening in the USA, happening in the Great White North as well. All right, now let's keep on going here. Speaking about Trudeau, here's your man talking about a few things, or at least one thing. Let's check it out. Shout out to Justin Trudeau. Let's watch.
But my job is not to be popular. My job, although it helps, my job is to do the right things for Canada now and do the right things for Canadians a generation from now. And that's what I've been focused on. And yeah, it's not always popular. But I know that doing the right things today, that support people today, that deliver that better future a generation from now, 2 generations from now, is going to make a huge difference in the path we take forward.
Are you guys buying it? Are you guys buying it? Do you guys think he's done a good job for the people of Canada? I don't think so. I mean, usually when I see him, and when I hear from him, and I read comments and whatnot from Canadians, especially, people don't like it too much. They don't really like what's going on. All right, now here's one more. It might have been from the same guy we saw earlier, but let's check it out because he's talking about Toronto and Vancouver and some more mortgage debt.
How
I think this is about mortgages and whatnot specifically. Let's take a look.
insane it is in Canada today. Vancouver is now the 3rd most expensive housing market in the world, comparing median income to median housing prices. UBS found in 2022 Toronto was the worst housing bubble on planet Earth. Both of them more expensive than New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles, London, England, and even Singapore. An island with 2,000 times more people per square kilometer than Canadians. We have the most mortgage debt by far of any G7 country as a share of our GDP. Wait, what is the number one cost to building a new home in Vancouver today? Land? Labor? Lumber? Permits. Government represents 60% of the cost of a newly built home.
Wow. See, look. That's what I'm talking about right there. Government is just too much in the way. 60% of the cost of a new home built. It's like California times a million. California just on meth, crack, all the drugs in the world.
In Vancouver today, 60%. So the 40% is what you use to pay for the worker, for all the lumber and the drywall and the land. This is insane.
That's crazy. That's totally crazy. Now, people are asking me who the guy is. I don't know who that is. I'm going to try to find out right quick. I don't really see anybody talking about his name. It's hard to really figure that out on Twitter because there's always a bunch of unrelated comments about random stuff to get engagement. So I don't know who that is. If you guys know who that is that's speaking, y'all let me know in the comments. Yeah, 60% is crazy. Hold on. JLP said 60% of a new home, and then they got to tax it again when you sell. Oh, of course, yeah. Yeah, that's going to be part of it for sure. Yeah, the taxes are crazy. Is that Pierre Polivier? Is that how you say his name? If I'm saying it wrong, y'all please forgive me. No parlez-vous français. All right, let's keep on rocking here. And you guys are saying he's the opposition leader. All right. Now, I have another one of these videos about the boomers talking about how much they paid for their homes. All right. They're talking about the current state in Canada right now with the real estate market. And let's come back to the USA. And here's a boomer talking about how much she paid for her home in 1969. So, okay.
How much?
Another video. You see her right here. He's going to ask her how much she paid for her home. Now, she bought her home in 1969. I want you guys to guess how much she paid for her home in 1969. Give me some numbers, and then I'll let it go ahead and rock. And shout out to you guys. And in the meantime, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Poliver, is that how you say it? Poliver? I'm saying a bunch of extra syllables for no reason. You know, trying to be really French like that. Somebody says 20,000, 15,000, 25,000. Je ne parle pas français. Yeah, merci. Merci. I forget who that was that sent me that. I took French 3 years in high school. I know a little bit of French. I just be forgetting sometimes. I'm mixing my Spanish up with the French. So I'm seeing a few correct guesses. Some guesses are very high. 86,000? No way. That's way too high. Yeah, 40,000? No, not by. Some are a little bit low. All right. I'm going to go ahead and just let it rock.
How much did you pay for your first house?
$12,000. I'm not kidding.
Wow, what year was this?
1969.
How much?
$12,000 for a house in 1969. $12,000. Now, of course, you know, the pay was a lot less back then, but still, I played a similar video recently on a live stream, and I think the person was saying 36,000 in the 70s or something like that. And during this time, it might have been 1979, and the person paid 36,000, and the average pay might have been 12,000 a year at that time. And the house would have been 3 times their yearly earnings. Now, what's the average pay now for a single person? 50 grand, 45,000. Let's just say it's 50, which is not, is actually lower than that. It's like 35,000. But let's just say $50,000. The average home now is like 500,000, I would say, give or take 500,000 for an average home, maybe 400,000. So obviously you need a lot more. It's going to be exponentially more, okay, than it would be back in the day. You know, a lot more. We're talking about what? 10 times your salary? 10 times. Okay, so I'm no mathematician. I'm no rocket scientist, but what's 5 times 5? 25, right? So that's 250,000. So you go 5 more, that's 500. So 10. So that's 10 times your salary versus 3 times your salary. So even though we make more money, there's still a bigger gap in between what we need to actually make to pay for our home. You see, from the average salary to what the average house is, it's a bigger gap. All right. Let's keep on rolling here. Now, Bina says 300,000 where I am. 500,000. Let me just do a Google search right quick of the average, well, new house. Or how about average house? Average home price USA. Let's look it up and just make sure we're saying the right thing. Okay, I was not too far off. All right, okay. Now, when I said the average home price was 500,000, I was a little bit off. What do you guys, I'm giving you guys some pop quizzes. What do you guys think the average home price is in the USA? And nobody do any Googling, nobody do any sneaking, just top of your head. In the USA, the entirety of the USA, not just San Francisco, not just Meridian, Mississippi or somewhere. I'm talking about the whole USA. What do you think the average home price is right now? Y'all give me some guesses. All right. Yes, actually somebody said it, median. You're correct. The median, right in the middle. And you guys are smart. You know what the difference is. Average, you take all the prices together and divide them by all the numbers and get your average. The median, you put all the prices on the list on a sheet of paper and you point to the dead center. You're not taking the average, you're looking at what the middle price is, the median home price. What do you guys think it is? A lot of you guys are making, you're pretty close to what the number is. The assassin of the great says too much. Next question. Yeah, that's a good answer. TC Burton says Bellevue, Washington, 1 million. That's crazy. And a lot of the left coast stuff begins to creep across the entire country. All right. Let me see. 250,000, Las Vegas, 450. Byron says 300. Okay, you ready? This is going to be on fool.com. All right, let's check it out. You ready? Let's go. All right, let's put it on the screen. The average home price is $417,700. Well, median. It says the median home sales price is $417,700 as of the fourth quarter of 2023. That's a 37% increase from the first quarter of 2020 when the median was $329,000. So I wasn't too far off when I said 500,000. I was not too far. I was right on the money. Well, not right on the money, but I was closer than what some of y'all expected. Okay. Now we got some more stuff here. The median home sales price in the USA is $417,000 as of the fourth quarter of 2023. That's down 4% from the third quarter, when the median home sales price was $435,400. So that's actually cheap. It's actually going down. That's actually better than what it had been. Now, Hawaii is the most expensive state to buy a house with a median home value of $832,688, according to the Zillow Home Value Index average over the fourth quarter of 2023. West Virginia, West by God, the Mountain State, my birthplace, is the least expensive state to buy a house with a median home value of $154,152, according to Zillow Home Value Index average over the fourth quarter of 2023. And it would be lower than that if not for the Panhandle, where all the DC people live who commute from the Panhandle, Berkeley Springs or whatever that is, to DC on the hour on the hour train ride. All right. If not for that, it'd be cheaper. So yeah, it's crazy. All right. That's pretty much what's going on. And look at how the prices have changed from 1980. You see the median about 63,700, 85, 82,000, 1990. Remember these days, 123. It stayed in the 100s until 2005. All right. 1985, 82,000. And then it was a sharp increase. Look, so 2005, 232,000, 2010, 222,000, 2015, 289,000, 2020, 329,000, and 2023, Q4, 417,000. All right. So it's just going up and up and up and up. And I'm pretty sure that your wages and your earnings did not go up by that same amount, by that same percentage. It's just becoming a wider gap in between the haves and the have-nots. From 1980 to the third quarter of 2023, home sales prices rose 576%. Now, I wonder how much your wages have risen from 1980 to 2023. Anybody want to guess? I don't want to look into it right now, so I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And you know what? Real estate is a good investment because you're going to have inflation with your home prices, and you can bank it. It's definitely a good investment to get into. You get a good deal, I say keep rocking, keep on it. All right, let's keep on going here. There's more we're going to get into. My man right here is talking about inflation and how much rent has gone up in a short period of time.
Has anyone noticed that it's literally becoming impossible to live a normal life because of the inflation that's going on? Literally, our rent payment used to be $800, 2 bedroom, 2 full bath. $1,400. $1,400 is what we pay now. Used to be $800 just a few years ago, and now it's $1,400. Go figure.
Hey, I was hearing some horror stories about Atlanta. I know people that live in Atlanta, and they were saying that on their lease renewal, it went up by $500. Like they were paying X amount, and then on their renewal, it went up $500 at once, and they couldn't pay it.
My auto insurance gone up 28%. Again, go figure. Inflation. Don't let me forget to mention electric bill, $300. For what? For what? It's ridiculous. It's crazy.
Now, I don't know. I might be blessed by the big man upstairs, blessed by God himself, because my auto insurance is like next to nothing. I don't know. It's like super cheap. When I tell people what it is, they'd be like, really? You pay that? You live in certain parts of the country, you're going to have a crazy auto insurance. Drive certain vehicles, you're a certain age, live in certain parts of the country, you're going to pay an arm and a leg plus some. Atlanta drivers, forget about it. You're going to pay the maximum because it's so dangerous to drive out there for a lot of, normies and people that's not familiar with it. Even if you are familiar with it, it's crazy. It's like Mad Max out there sometimes.
Now, the icing on the cake, I feel like I go to the grocery store. Okay, I go to Kroger. I feel like I go in there with $100 and I come out with a gallon of milk and 2 pieces of toast. And not even the good pieces of toast. Like the end pieces. That's what I come out.
Y'all tearing this guy out. You said Seth Rogen. Y'all are funny. But yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. Shout out to him. Man. I know it's crazy out here. Now y'all might like her better. Now, to the guys out there, I want you to stay focused, okay? Focus on the message and don't get hypnotized, all right? Focus on the message, all right? Let's check it.
Sometimes I'm like, I'm still young, I'm still fun, right? And then other times I walk into a Chipotle for the first time in a long time and I order the exact same thing that I used to order, but the price comes out almost double what it used to be. And suddenly the spirit of an 80-year-old man possesses me and I start saying things like, well, back in my day. Sometimes I'm like, I'm still young, I'm still fun, right? And then other times I walk into a Chipotle for the first time in a long time and I order the exact same thing that I used to order, but the price comes out almost double what it used to be. And suddenly the spirit of an 80-year-old man possesses me and I start saying things like, well, back in my day.
That's pretty much how I'll be feeling. I'm always old man shaking fist at cloud. That's how I am all the time. So welcome to my world, young lady. Welcome to my world. That's pretty much how I am 24/7, 365. All right. So yeah, shout out to her. Somebody said, man, not impressed. Not impressed. All right, let's keep going. What did I want to get to? There's more I wanted to get to here. Oh, this is pretty interesting. Have you guys seen this from Chuck Schumer talking about Netanyahu? Have you guys seen this? I was like, what's going on here? You talking about regime change? What's happening? Hold on. And the caption for NBC News says, breaking, Senate Majority Leader Schumer says Israeli PM Netanyahu's government no longer fits the needs of Israel after October the 7th. Now, how is it the place of Chuck Schumer to talk about what Israel needs? Isn't that their business? Let them handle their own affairs. Why are you getting in the way? Like, let's hear it.
As a lifelong supporter of Israel, it has become clear to me the Netanyahu coalition no longer fits the needs of Israel after October 7th. The world has changed radically since then, and the Israeli people are being stifled right now by a governing vision that is stuck in the past. Nobody expects Prime Minister Netanyahu to do the things that must be done to break the cycle of violence, to preserve Israel's credibility on the world stage, and to work towards a two-state solution. If he were to disavow Ministers Smotrich and Ben-Gvir and kick them out of his governing coalition, that would be a real meaningful step forward. But regrettably, there's no reason to believe Prime Minister Netanyahu would do that. He won't disavow Ministers Smotrich and Ben-Gvir in their calls for Israelis to drive Palestinians out of Gaza and the West Bank. He won't commit to a military operation in Rafah that prioritizes protecting civilian life. He won't engage responsibly in discussions about a day-after plan for Gaza and a longer-term pathway to peace.
So what's your take on that? Do you guys think that he has any room to speak on what Israel does or what they don't do with their leadership? Isn't it up to them? I mean, who is he to say anything? Why should that be? Like, I'm not with this whole thing about speaking about, oh, well, they shouldn't have that guy. They shouldn't have that guy. Look, that's their business. Whatever they got going on, that's on them. If they want him, then so be it. You know, you could criticize him, but to be like, oh, they shouldn't have him. And that's crazy. Yeah, exactly. Not any of his business. That's correct, Jan. Not any of his business. Not at all. Not in the least bit. Now, we have our own issues over here, of course. We got some pretty serious things going on. We got to talk about the Boeing situation, the Boeing kerfuffle. We got to talk about that. Like, what's going on with all these planes having problems? Now, some are going to say that this is being blown out of proportion. It's not really that big of a deal. It's just, you know, there are always problems. There are always little mishaps and maintenance issues. And what's happening right now is that they're being kind of blown. They're being given a lot of attention because of all the media coverage after the whole door plug kerfuffle, right? Let's check this out. Hold on. Let's check this out right quick. And then we got to talk about the actual, we got to talk about the whistleblower. Okay. I got to put that one up right quick. Because whistleblower mysteriously got deleted or deleted himself right before he was scheduled to testify. He was scheduled to testify at a private hearing, I guess you would say. And then right on the morning of the actual private hearing, he did. So how'd that happen?
Departure.
I'm going to play that one first. I didn't play this actual full news clip on my video today. So let's watch this. And RIP to John Barnett. That's his name, John Barnett. He was a 13-year Boeing employee, and he did, I think, quality inspection. And he was going to whistleblow and testify. And on the morning of his testimony, right before he's dead, they said he took a gun and shot himself in the head and he died. You believe that? I don't know.
This morning, police in Charleston, South Carolina, tell NBC News they are aware of the death of a former Boeing employee turned whistleblower. 62-year-old John Barnett found dead on Friday from what the coroner calls an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound.
So this is my retirement plaque.
Barnett retired from Boeing in 2017 after working as a quality manager for more than 30 years.
30 years as a quality manager at Boeing. There you go. Look at this. A certificate is presented to John Barnett for 30 years of valued service to the Boeing company. Thank you for being an integral part of building our future as a global enterprise. And he got that on September 3rd, 2014. And you see all the awards, everything, highly decorated, well-respected. So this is not some kind of nut job or anything like that from what I know. Let's keep on going.
A quality manager for more than 30 years. Since his departure, he has taken legal action against the company, claiming he was retaliated against for raising safety issues internally, issues that Boeing denied at the time. Back in 2019, Barnett sat down with Today describing a haphazard safety culture at Boeing.
From day one, it's just all been about schedule and hurry up and just get it done, push the planes out. We're behind schedule. You know, we don't have time to worry about issues that y'all bring up.
In 2017, the FAA released a review upholding many of Barnett's concerns. With regards to his sudden death, the company released a statement writing, "We are saddened by Mr. Barnett's passing, and our thoughts are with his family and friends." Production standards at Boeing are under intense scrutiny, following a series of troubling incidents involving Boeing planes. The latest on Monday, when a 787 from the South American airline LATAM apparently dropped abruptly mid-flight from Sydney to Auckland, injuring at least 50 passengers and crew members. The airline says it's unclear what caused the strong movement on the flight. NBC News has also confirmed the Justice Department has launched a criminal investigation into Boeing.
Wow, over the whole door plug thing. Wow, heads may roll or not. Somebody might get thrown under the bus, but I don't think there's going to be any real consequences, unfortunately, for that one. We'll see.
Following the blowout door plug on a 787 MAX 9 in January, the NTSB determined the plane left the Boeing plant without critical bolts that hold the plug in place. A scathing...
So I didn't even know that. So they said that the bolts weren't even there. When the door plug kerfuffle first happened, they were trying to find the bolts. They found the door, but it didn't find any bolts. Now they're saying the door left the plant with no bolts. See, that right there, that's a quality control issue. When you just kind of rush in and you're leaving out critical parts of the process. That's crazy.
plug in place. A scathing new FAA audit also found Boeing failed to comply with its own quality control procedures.
We're working with Boeing and demanding that they come up with a very detailed plan within the next 90 days to fix the quality issues that are out there.
Tom, we've also learned new details about that FAA audit. What do you know?
Yeah, that's right. So according to a slide presentation that was reviewed by the New York Times, Boeing failed 33 out of 89 FAA audits, 33 out of 89 failures over a 6-week period. NBC News has not seen the slides ourselves. Spirit Aerosystems, which makes the fuselage for the Boeing plane, also failed multiple audits. And in one case, auditors saw mechanics using a hotel key card to check a door seal. Other mechanics were seen applying liquid soap to a door seal as part of the fit-up process. Boeing told NBC News this morning, quote, "We continue to implement immediate changes and develop a comprehensive action plan to strengthen safety and quality and build the confidence of our customers and their passengers." And they have some work to do. Savannah?
Absolutely, Tom.
So we got some serious problems. We got some serious issues with these planes. I mean, yeah. Oh, boy, it's crazy. Now, let's get into the most recent incident. There's been quite a few. There's been quite a few incidents. Let's see some of these right here.
More issues for United Airlines. A United flight that took off from San Francisco International Airport had to make an emergency landing this evening at LAX due to a reported hydraulics issue. Now, the flight was headed to Mexico City, and according to United, the plane had 100.
Oh, that wasn't even the one I wanted to see. That was just something else. Okay, talking about hydraulics and all of that. That wasn't even it. The one I wanted to show you guys was about the the panel, the random panel that fell off. You know, it's been so many of them. Hold on, let me see if I can find what I need right quick. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. It was about the door panel, not door panel, the random panel. Okay, the panel flew off, and then there was a bunch of other things happening at the same time. Okay, yeah, hold on. Is this it right here? I think this might be the one I'm looking for. Well, this is going to work because it's a shorter one, but it'll work.
We have more breaking news about yet another problem with a United Airlines plane that was made by Boeing. This one happened on a plane that left San Francisco this morning. When it landed safely and early in Medford, Oregon, crews noticed an external panel was missing, and United doesn't even know when the panel fell off. The pilots say they didn't even know anything was wrong. It's been a really rough few weeks for Boeing and United. Just
look, you see this right here? So this is a different incident that is showing on the screen. A wheel fell off of the, I guess you would say, landing gear upon takeoff. Look, it just fell right on the ground. And then when it fell on the ground, it crashed into some cars below and busted out the window, destroyed the car. It was crazy. Like, imagine you pull up to the airport. Look, here's something. Imagine you pull up to the airport and park, and the plane's overhead, and then the whole wheel falls off of the plane and crashes into your car.
Few weeks for Boeing and
look, boom, off, the whole wheel off.
United just last week, a wheel fell off of one United plane.
Look at that right there, like the tire, the wheel, the whole unit on the ground.
At SFO, another heading to SFO had to turn around for landing gear problems, and another over Texas had an engine fire.
Too much going on, man. Way too much going on. No, that ain't really what we're gonna do. And then hold on. Let's look at the panel that flew off, because that is gonna be pretty scary. Not even the door panel, just a random other panel. All these panels just coming off the aircraft. Oh, here it is. Now, can we get a good view of it? That'll work. That'll work for the view. Okay. So, to all the aviation experts out there, if you know about planes, should I be seeing that on the plane? Like, if I go to the airport and I see that if I see a plane just chilling right with the panel missing, is that safe? like, should that be covered up? Because I know sometimes you have like cosmetic features on the plane, but at a certain point, you got to have intact fuselage, I suppose. And that does not appear to be too intact. Is that part of your fuselage or what's going on? It just looks kind of janky at best. Now, to be fair, this is an older plane. The door plug plane was brand new. It had just been brought to the actual airport from which it was flying. This is an old plane, like 25 years old. The problem is twofold, in my opinion. It's the maintenance of planes and also the manufacturing. You saw John Barnett talking about they just keep pushing stuff through no matter how severe the problem is. Push it through. We're behind. Don't worry about any concerns. Just push, push, push. And then you're going to get things that happen like we're not going to put the bolts in the door and then mid-flight the door flies off of a brand new plane. It's not about the plane being it's not about a construction flaw. It's about just quality control, not putting bolts in the door. The fuselage is fine, the door is fine, but you didn't put the bolts in the door. Obviously, it's going to be a problem. In this case, you're dealing with an old plane that is not being maintained properly, from what I'm able to see. All right. So that's probably what's going on. And when you just and then they're talking about they were exporting some of their maintenance to like not just third parties, but third countries, like outside the USA. Who knows where they're going to be? A lot of you guys talking about China, Chinese parts. Is it going to be service in China, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore? What's going on? I don't really know, but I digress. So, yeah, I don't really want to see that too much. And here is someone, a friend of John Barnett's, talking about he did not delete himself. All right, let's put it on the screen right quick.
But aren't you scared? And he said, and his voice and the way he would talk, no, I ain't scared. He said, but if anything happens to me, it's not suicide. You know, I know that he did not commit suicide. There's no way. He loved life too much. He loved his family too much. He loved his brothers too much to put them through what they're going through right now.
And he basically told you not to believe it.
So basically, according to this woman who knew John Barnett, apparently a family friend, she says that he told her that if something happens to me, I did not delete myself. And now what happens on the morning of his testimony, whistleblowing about Boeing, he allegedly takes a gun and shoots himself and he dies. I'm not saying he did do it. I'm not saying he didn't do it. All I'm saying is that it's suspicious. It's suspicious and nobody can say that it's not. And if you say it's not suspicious, you're not being truthful. Okay, it's at best it's suspicious. At worst, it's something else. All right, so I mean, there's some definite problems with Boeing and what they got going on. All right, now let's check this out. Remember the FDNY commissioner that was allegedly going after some firefighters because they were booing Letitia James, and we all know Miss James is going after Donald Trump with the whole lawsuit thing, making them pay like $400 million, some stupid amount of money. Now they want to kind of reverse course, talking about, we're not really gonna go after anybody. Hold on, let me see if I can find the update right quick. All right, let me find the update right quick, and then we keep on going. All right, let me see. What's her name? Is Kavanaugh? Yeah, that's the lady's name, Kavanaugh. All right, I don't see the brand new update, but let's look at the previous one, the previous news clip.
Meanwhile, the FDNY still searching for those rowdy firefighters who booed New York Attorney General Letitia James at a department promotion event last week. You'll remember this. Brian Yanis live in New York City with more. Still talking about this, Brian.
Sandra, good morning. Well, the FDNY is urging firefighters to turn themselves in, insisting they are, quote, not hunting anyone down, but they are looking into those who they say clearly broke department regulations when they booed AG Letitia James and started chanting former President Donald Trump's name at a promotion ceremony last week at a Brooklyn church. Yesterday, FDNY Commissioner Laura Kavanaugh went back to that church and apologized.
I am sorry about the way that we acted. We disappointed our friends who are here, our family who is here, and we disappointed this church that has given us so much over the years.
Now, I was asking about this lady because, I know firefighting. Like you guys know, my dad was a firefighter 22 years in Norfolk, Virginia, Norfolk Fire Rescue. And you rarely ever see a female firefighter. You do see them occasionally, but it's almost never. And definitely not in a leadership role. So I was told that she was put in this particular seat. I'm not sure by who. I don't know who appoints the commissioner out there in New York City. But this lady is not a firefighter.
The FDNY tells Fox about its investigation into its members, quote, it has nothing to do with politics. It's about professionalism at an official event held in a house of worship. While some argue the firefighters were within their First Amendment rights, FDNY bosses are apparently furious over what they deemed as unacceptable behavior by FDNY members Thursday.
First, simmer down. Kavanaugh and Chief Hodgins for that recognition.
The Post reports a memo handed out at firehouses Sunday warns when you're not on duty, feel however you want about politicians. Vote, protest, that's your right, but don't do it on the job's time. On Saturday, Trump went after AG James, who won a $454 million civil fraud case against him.
The fascist and racist Attorney General of New York State, Letitia James, I call her Peekaboo James.
Peekaboo James is hilarious.
Who, by the way, is now being booed and heckled all over New York because they know it's a scam.
The FDNY union says it will provide representation to any member who is under investigation. Sandra?
So that's what's happening out there in New York. Now, we have an update on that. There's a quick update on that. And she was booed, the commissioner. So first it was Letitia James that was booed at the church by firefighters at some kind of promotion ceremony. And then Laura Kavanaugh, the person who was hunting down or investigating the firefighters who did the booing, she got booed at a parade for St. Patrick's Day. Let's check it out. RIP headphone users. Sorry about the loud noise. It wet my ears too. Let's go ahead and check it out. So yeah, shout out to her. I think there's another video of the booing. Let me see if I can find that very quick. What's her name? Kavanaugh boo. Yeah, I saw that just now. Let me see if I can check it out. Yeah, I ain't gonna be able to find it, but that's pretty much what happened. You get the general gist of what was going on. All right, let me see. Oh yeah, it's just a bigger video, a longer video. So yeah, they don't really like her too much out there. Obviously, you got a lot of Trump supporters in New York, and they don't like what she did. Let's keep on going. All right. Oh, y'all want to see? I got a picture. All right. This dad in a uniform. So shout out to all the firefighters. I'm gonna show you my twin brother right quick. See that's him. That's dad back in, when was this? This had to have been like early 2000s, I would say. So yeah, that's him. I shaved my beard off. We look identical. So yeah, shout out to him and shout out to all the firefighters, shout out to all the first responders, shout out to everybody out there for doing what you do. God bless y'all. But let's keep on rocking and rolling. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, we got a lot more here we're going to get into. Oh, we got to talk about your man, Don Lemon. We got to talk about Don Lemon. So you guys know Don Lemon had a show on Twitter, and it was grand opening, grand closing. And his first interview on the show was Elon Musk. First interview on the show was Elon Musk, and after the interview, he pretty much got fired. I'm not a twin, but that's why I just called my dad my twin. So let's check it out. This is a cringe video from your man Don Lemon on the TikToks.
Go ahead. Let's light this candle, huh? I mean, sure, I'll lose everything, but then
the caption says, for you guys who can't see the actual video, the caption says, when Elon Musk tries to cancel me on X and he's eating a bowl of popcorn and he has this dog that's eating the popcorn with him. I don't know, I don't know where to do that at, but anyway.
Nothing to live. Go ahead. Let's light this candle, huh? I mean, sure, I'll lose everything, but then I'll have nothing to live. Go ahead. Let's light this candle.
Now we got more because there's more to the story. We're gonna show some of the interview. We're gonna show Elon Musk answering a few questions, and then we're gonna get into a little bit more about what happened. What's the real story? It's not just that it was a bad interview. It was some requests that Don Lemon had that weren't really good requests. Let's check it out.
Do you believe that X and you have some responsibility to moderate hate speech on the platform? That you wouldn't have to answer these questions from reporters about the Great Replacement Theory as it relates to Democrats? I don't have to answer these questions. The Great Replacement Theory as it relates to Jewish people. Do you think that?
I don't have to answer questions from reporters. Don, the only reason I'm doing this interview is because you're on the X platform and you asked for it. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I would not do this interview.
So you don't think? Do you think that you wouldn't get in trouble or you wouldn't be criticized for these things?
I'm criticized constantly. I could care less.
Illuminating. So now, okay, now they're transitioning to CNN. Remember, Don Lemon got fired by CNN last year, and now he's back on CNN being interviewed by Aaron Burnett about being fired by Elon Musk over on Twitter. This guy's nuts.
In so many ways. All right, I have two things I want to ask you about that, Don. First, the Great Replacement Theory. Right. As you bring it up, he has tweeted a tweet he shared. Increasing illegals boost Dem voting power, causing them to recruit more. Mm-hmm. If Dems win President, House, and Senate, they'll grant citizenship to all illegals, and America will become a permanent one-party deep socialist state. Right? He has gone there directly. How much does he stand by these ideas?
Well, he didn't quite seem to understand that he did, originally he did that with Jewish people, sort of a Great Replacement Theory thing that he did with Jewish people, and he got in trouble and he had to go to Auschwitz and answer questions and apologize and go with Ben Shapiro. But he doesn't understand that sort of rhetoric that he talks about, the Great Replacement Theory and migrant invasion, that's what radicalized shooters use in their manifestos, those exact words. The people who go and shoot up people, whether they be Latino people who live in Texas or black people who are in a supermarket in Buffalo or Jewish people who are worshiping, those people use the same rhetoric, that they are tropes, that they're either racist for Latinos or black people or for Jewish people.
Now, you get a general idea of what's happening here, about how he feels about Elon Musk and things that he was saying on the Twitters and everything else. But there's more. There's more, because the question is, why did he get fired? Okay. Here is his side of the story, Don, and then we're going to see a little bit more from New York Post. They got some sources that say something a little bit different. So,
hi, everyone. Elon Musk is mad at me. And I just put out a statement about what happened between him, me, and the interview that he is apparently so upset about. But make no mistake about this. This is going to be my first episode of the Don Lemon Show this coming Monday, March 18th, so make sure you tune in. This does not change anything about the show except for my relationship with Elon and X. And there's a whole lot that went down, and I'm going to tell you about in the coming days. I know, though, that many of you were not happy that I was doing this in the first place, and you told me so. I just want you to know that I did this deal because not only do I believe in free speech, but I believed that this was the best possible chance for the work that I'm doing to reach the largest amount of people. So speaking of free speech, right, I thought the first person interview, no brainer, Elon Musk, the man who calls himself a free speech absolutist. I asked him to do it. He willingly agreed to the interview. Throughout our conversation, I kept reiterating to him that although it was tense at times, I thought it was good for people to see and hear our exchange and that they would learn from our conversation, learn more about him, learn more about me. But apparently, free speech absolutism doesn't apply when it comes to questions about him from people like me. What did we talk about? Why is he so upset? Does he even have a reason to be upset? Make sure you watch it on Monday on YouTube and everywhere you listen to podcasts, and you can decide for yourself. You can even watch it on X because I'm still going to post it there.
Okay, so you see what he's saying. He's basically saying that the reason why his contract got canceled is because the interview was not good between him and Elon Musk. I mean, maybe there could be part of it, but there's more. Okay, so check this out. Here's a New York Post source. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna just pull up the article straight away because that's going to be pretty interesting. All right. So check it out. Here was some of Don Lemon's demands. All right. Now you're not going to believe this. I mean, I don't know who he thinks he is to ask for these kind of things. All right. Let's pause. So Don Lemon demanded a Cybertruck. I'm not making this up. This is on New York Post. Don Lemon demanded a Cybertruck, $5 million for an advance, equity in Twitter or X before he got fired. Now, do you guys think that Don Lemon is worth all that? A Cybertruck, really? So look, you want a Cybertruck? You must don't hate Elon that much. You want to be on Twitter, on his platform. You want to get one of his brand new Tesla vehicles, and you want to get a big bag of money. Really, my man, are you serious? Like, when I heard about the deal at first, I was like, okay, it'd be good if he posts the show on Twitter by himself. Like, okay, you gather up all your own sponsors. You get your own support system, your own team, your editors or whatever, and then you put the show on Twitter as a platform like how I do with YouTube. I don't have a deal with YouTube. There's no contract with YouTube saying, okay, we're going to pay ABL $5 million. Nah. The way I generate revenue is from the ads and you guys watching it. That's how I thought he would do on Twitter, but no, he wanted Elon to pay him and give him a Cybertruck. So, I mean, that's what it is. Now, somebody says, who are the sources? It says that they have sources, but they're not naming the sources. You know how they do. They always do that. Let me just read some of this right quick. I'm not going to read the entire thing. It says, Don Lemon demanded the sun, moon, and the stars from the SpaceX boss before being unceremoniously dumped this week, the Post has learned. The CNN anchor sent over an astronomical wish list to Elon Musk during contract talks to host a show on the billionaire social media platform X, including a free Cybertruck, a $5 million upfront payment on top of an $8 million salary, an equity stake in the multi-billion-dollar company, and the right to approve any changes in X policy as it relates to news content, according to a document reviewed by the Post. It's like, man, your lawyer got cojones of adamantium, Wolverine style. So that's crazy. That's totally crazy. Now, a little bit more, then I move on. Lemon, who was expected to air an interview with Musk for next week's debut episode on X, had also demanded a private jet flight to Las Vegas, a suite for him and his boyfriend, fiance, and that the company pay for their day drinking and massages. I was like, really? My man, day drinking? You're going to get drunk for the interview, then get a massage? And who do you think you are, Princess Diana? Musk agreed to do the interview with Lemon despite the fact that he was aware of some of Lemon's outlandish demands. The sources told the Post. All right, so that's the set right there of Don and Elon, the Cybertruck logo in the background, the lights, all that kind of good stuff. My man, day drinking, yo, you've been doing a little bit too much day drinking. Think you're gonna get all that? Yeah, his partner, quote unquote, shout out to you, Jay, man. His partner recommended that whole, ask me if you can get some massages and some mimosas and all that kind of good stuff. Yeah, he wanted to get the little special ending too on top of that. It's like, man, come on. You are doing way too much. Okay, now here's more. The proposal reviewed by the Post was sent from Lemon's agents at United Talent Agency to X leadership in December. So they got their hands on the actual proposal. All right. Now, here's Megyn Kelly, and she may have something to say about it. Megyn Kelly says Don Lemon behaved like an a-hole. Okay, ads on New York Post. Can you please get out the way? Behaved like an a-hole during Elon Musk interview. Megyn said that the disgraced former CNN anchor Don Lemon behaved like an a-hole during his interview with Elon Musk, and that he should have been more grateful to the owner of social media site X for resurrecting his career. I agree 100%. So yeah, shout out to him. I don't think Don Lemon is going to be doing any more any more news hosting anytime soon as far as having his own show. Now, speaking about being done for, your man Joe Biden, what's going on with him? Can I take a few questions? Nope, can't do that. Let's watch. This is your guy, 81 million.
We're gonna take a few questions.
Thank you, Press. Thank you so much. Back in the vehicles. Back to the cars. Thank you. Back to the cars. We're happy to walk you. Vehicles are this way. Thank you. All good. Thank you so much. Thank you. We gotta go.
They always do that. That's their whole thing. That's like the job of these people, these handlers around them, to just kind of usher you away from the situation.
That Netanyahu should go.
He's always looking lost. Okay, let's start from the top right here. It's raining wherever they are. Some kind of heckler or something in the crowd or something talking about Netanyahu's got to go. He doesn't know what's going on, speaking about your man Joe Biden. And look, he's like, okay, where do I go? Over here, over there?
That Netanyahu should go.
It's like you're walking with your pawpaw. Your pawpaw is just trying to get from point A to point B. Needs a little bit of assistance. That's what's going on. Now, if you're the president, that shouldn't be happening to you. That shouldn't be what's going on. But unfortunately, it is what's going on. That is where we are right now, 81 million. If that's the case, I can't tell. That does not look like 81 million votes to me. Oh, and speaking about Joe Biden, let's do a little bit of a throwback, shall we? Because, we got the migrant crisis still raging on. That's still a thing that the Biden administration have fostered, that they have put into place. And let's take a look at Joe Biden back in the day, talking about the migrants. We've heard many things. You go into a Dunkin' Donuts, 7-Eleven, you got a slight Indian accent. We've heard those things, but here is something else you may have forgotten, or maybe you didn't hear it at all. Check it out.
They have to have a way to earn their way into the deal. This is an amnesty. They're required to take 11 years' worth. They pay a fine. They got to learn to speak English. Think of a country that has 2 languages as their accepted languages that is doing all that well, including Switzerland and or Canada.
It divides us. If we want the problems of Canada right now, keep encouraging people to keep their foreign language. English is going to unite this country potentially.
Yeah. They have to have a way to earn their way into the deal.
So we got Chris Matthews and we got Joe Biden talking about, hey, come here and speak English. Learn our language. Now, if you say speak English to people, all of a sudden that's racist to say. That's racist to say speak English in America. Oh, what are they going to say? Well, America has no set language. Okay, but at the end of the day, we do. English is going to be unifying. That's going to be unifying. And he was saying that back then. I wonder when he actually changed his point of view. When did he reinvent himself? When did he become something else? back in the day, he was more of a conservative Democrat. Always a Democrat, but more on the conservative side. So what happened? What changed from then till now? I can't call it. I cannot call it. Today's Joe Biden would call yesterday's Joe Biden the racist. Funny how that works. All right, let's keep on rocking here. If you like what you're hearing thus far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And speaking about migrants, I got a video here I want to show. All right, let's show this one.
¿Creen que mucha gente está yendo a los Estados ahora mismo? Gracias, porque...
This says, hold on, I'm going to just read. We got subtitles that are actually in English. It says, do you think a lot of migrants are going to the U.S. right now?
¿Creen que mucha gente está yendo a los Estados ahora mismo? Gracias, porque el presidente Joe Biden está ahí dejando a la gente a entrar.
Sí, sí. Como ahorita hay oportunidad de pasarse, quizás hasta familias se van para allá con los hijos. Porque yo conozco varias personas que, o sea, tienen hijos y dije, no, mejor los vamos a arriesgar a irnos porque ahorita está buena la pasada y todo eso.
So basically you're saying that the question was, do you think migrants are coming over right now because of Joe Biden being in office? And the guy's like, yeah, they're coming over. They're coming over with the kids and everything because it's a good time to cross right now. And everybody knows that.
Entonces la gente ya saben que van a poder entrar cuando vayan a los Estados Unidos.
Sí, porque dicen que como...
¿Creen que mucha gente...
So they already know, before they come over here, they already know they're going to be able to enter. They already know it's a good time. Like, they're coming over here. It's a concerted effort. They know Biden's going to be weak. He's going to let them come in. And that's pretty much going to be that on that. They're going to be able to come in, do whatever they want to do, and go about their business. That's pretty much how that goes. Yeah, they already... And people try to gaslight you like they don't really know. Yes, they do know that they can come over here and just do whatever they want to do. All right, now let's talk a little bit about Haiti. That's been going on for a little bit. Let's talk a little about that. You guys may or may not know there's like a bunch of civil unrest happening. The president stepped down. Now they got the gang leader named Barbecue. He's pretty much in control. It's pretty much a collapse. It's a failed state. It's been a failed state for a while, but now it's pretty serious. It's pretty much over, at least in Port-au-Prince. In the countryside, might be a little bit different, but in Port-au-Prince, the main place is pretty much over. Let's watch some of this.
A dramatic rescue mission overnight to get Americans out of Haiti. Mitch Albom, best-selling author of books like Tuesdays with Maury, airlifted to safety along with his wife and 8 others out of Haiti's violence-torn capital of Port-au-Prince. Albom was visiting his orphanage, Have Faith Haiti, with a group of volunteers when the state of emergency was declared, trapping him and the others for 10 days. The helicopter arrived in the middle of the night, a private mission spearheaded by U.S. Rep. Corey Mills and Lisa McLean.
It landed right out of, as you see in movies, you know, and somebody jumps out and says, go, 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 and you run underneath the blades and you jump in.
Albom grateful to be back on U.S. ground, but can't shake the thoughts of what he left behind.
You know, everybody inside started clapping, but my wife and I, it was a gut punch because, you know, all of our kids are still at the orphanage.
A team of Marines have been deployed to provide additional security and prepare for evacuation of the U.S. Embassy. This just a day after the nation's Prime Minister Ariel Henry announced his resignation. The transition to find his replacement is unlikely to be a smooth one. Haiti's capital, home to approximately 3 million, facing widespread gang warfare. Here at the border crossing of the Jabon, people are being deported by the truckloads, some stranded Americans fleeing. We met Troy Stalker, who is trying to get back home to Illinois.
Tires burning in the street, they'll block you. They don't want you to cross, they don't want you to get through. So today was a good day.
A sign of how tense things are here at the border. Less than a mile from where we are, 2 Haitian nationals that were attempting to cross the border were shot by members of the Dominican Army. Officials here in the Dominican Republic say that a scuffle had taken place and one of them was killed.
So, yeah, he's over in DR right now. Of course, you know, DR and Haiti, they share the island Hispaniola, and that border is really serious. You wouldn't cross when you're not supposed to cross. They would go ahead and just put you down. They would delete you. Yeah, it's pretty serious over there. And I think there was the border. The border is so secure and so serious that I think it might have been the Haitian Prime Minister trying to land a plane in DR and they were refused. They couldn't even land the plane. the Haitian prime minister could not land his plane in DR. It's that serious over there right now. So yeah, prayers out to Haiti, people that live there. I don't even know what's going to happen. I don't know what is causing it. I don't know what's what, but yeah, it's a mess in Port-au-Prince, especially right now. So yeah, that's what's happening. And also, as a result of what's happening in Haiti, now we're starting to get some illegal aliens trying to come over from Haiti, like directly. I ain't talking about those that have been in Chile for the past 15 years. I'm talking about people that are coming straight from Haiti right now in boats and whatnot, like Cubans back in the day. Let's check some of this out right here. All right, and here we go. Shout out to DeSantis.
That are going to continue to keep the people of Florida safe. Just recently, within the last couple of weeks, and this will be made public later today, our Florida Fish and Wildlife officers interdicted a vessel that had 25 illegal immigrants, potential illegal immigrants from Haiti, in their boat, in their vessel. They had firearms, they had drugs, they had night vision gear, and were boating very recklessly, which would potentially endanger other folks. So that vessel was interdicted near the Sebastian Inlet, and those illegal aliens were turned over to the Coast Guard for deportation. So our forces that.
So yeah, it's pretty serious out there. It's pretty serious. You got the border patrol doing their thing out there in Florida, and it's pretty hard because you got air and you got sea. Mostly, you don't have air and sea. You don't have any land borders with any other countries in Florida, but they're pretty much a peninsula just kind of jutted out in the ocean. Go from Mexico, Atlantic Ocean. You got a lot of the Caribbean right there. Haiti's not too far away. Cuba, all these places, Jamaica. So you got a tall task to keep your border secure in Florida, and shout out to them for doing it. Now, I'll talk a little bit about Fani Willis right here. I know I'm kind of running short on time. Shout out to you guys for being here. I think this from Judge Scott McAfee may have been before his ruling. Now we know what the ruling is about Fani Willis. The ruling is that she can stay on the case if Nathan Wade is off the case. And he did resign from the case, so she's going to stay on it. Now, that's not the end, because his ruling basically was trying to pass responsibility for Fani Willis's fate to someone else, like the Georgia State Board. He basically was laying out the groundwork for the board to investigate, saying, hey, she did this, this, and this. All kind of improprieties and just things she shouldn't have been doing. So if the state bar look at this and they investigate, they may disbar her, which is a whole different level. Okay. But as of right now, she's still on the case. Now, do you guys think the Georgia bar will disbar her? They should. I mean, all the evidence points toward it. There also is a federal investigation. You got Jim Jordan and whatnot subpoenaing her to D.C. They want documents from her. So you got a lot of pressure from other places. But Mr. Scott McAfee, who is, by the way, 34 years old, believe it or not, my man right here, 34 years old. Yes, he is. He is not going to have the cojones to go ahead and just take her off the case. He wants the responsibility of her fate to be in other people's hands, not his hands. So I think what he's going to say right here was before the ruling. Check it out.
It's been filed up to this point. I think it's clear that disqualification can occur if evidence is produced demonstrating an actual conflict or the appearance of one. And the filings submitted on this issue so far have presented a conflict in the evidence that can't be resolved as a matter of law. Specifically looking at Defendant Roman's motion, it alleges a personal relationship that resulted in a financial benefit to the district attorney. And that is no longer a matter of complete speculation. The state has admitted a relationship existed. And so what remains to be proven is the existence and extent of any financial benefit, again, if there even was one. So, because I think it's possible that the facts alleged by the defendant could result in disqualification, I think an evidentiary hearing must occur to establish the record on those core allegations. So just to emphasize, I think the issues at point here are whether a relationship existed, whether that relationship was romantic or non-romantic in nature, when it formed, and whether it continues. And that's only relevant because it's in combination with the question of the existence and extent of any personal benefit conveyed as a result of the relationship.
So yeah, basically he's saying that there's a lot here, but he doesn't want to be the one to do it. Now, do you guys think he's a coward? By the way, my left ear really enjoyed that. Shout out to the headphone users. But is he a coward for not taking her off the case, or did he do what's right? Because the thing about a judge in this case, he could be reversed. So if he was to take her off, then that decision could be reversed, and that might be a problem for him, and it would kind of be counterproductive. So he is laying out the case for others to do the dirty work and heavy lifting for him. So what do y'all think? Coward or not, I'm not really sure. But again, Fani Willis will still be on the case for now, unless she gets disbarred or something else happens beyond what the judge is able to do. And the judge did donate to her in previous years for her campaign. I'm not sure how much money. He did donate to her. He was a supporter of hers. I'm not quite sure if he is now or not, but that did happen. Just to give you some information, you guys say he's a coward. Somebody said, come on, Tony. Hey, I'm just asking the question. Don't shoot the messenger. C for coward, traitor, more strategic maybe. Young and scared. He punted. He did punt. He punted like your man, what's the other McAfee from the show? Hold on. Yeah, Pat McAfee. You come from a family. You might be Pat McAfee's long lost twin brother. There's political future. That's something else for sure. Just Me says, not a coward, setting it up for her to take the fall. Good observation. Yeah, he is 34 years old. Shout out to lead attorney AV and the crew over there. I learned that from them. Yeah. Hey, people tell me all the time, oh, you're 39. You look so old. I look much younger in person, but you know, with the beard and whatnot and the glasses on the internet, I look a lot older than I am. I shaved my beard off. I'll be 15 years younger online. In person, I look much younger, but just sitting right here in the camera, I look older than what I am. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. I got one more video for you guys. One more. Then we're going to get to the calls. And the number to call, 434-658-1220. I got super chats, then I'm going to get to the calls, but one more video. Advil is saying pain is somehow racist. Let's check it out.
I should not have to beg my doctor to run tests or ask them to take another look.
So the Advil Pain Equity Project introduces Believe My Pain. Only in America can you have drug companies push podcasts. A drug company podcast is crazy. Advil hosted a roundtable discussion about systemic pain bias in healthcare.
Welcome to Believe My Pain, a discussion about systemic pain bias in healthcare. I want to thank all of you for joining me today as we talk about this very important issue. I also want to thank the Pain Equity Project developed by Advil in partnership with the Morehouse School of Medicine and Black Health for inviting us to be a part of their commitment to addressing pain bias in Black communities.
So yeah, there we go. We got a pain podcast brought to you by a drug company, Advil. Alrighty. And is there a parent company to Advil, or are they the parent? Let me see. Let me just look it up. Advil, parent company. Why should it be Pfizer or something crazy? Or it might just be, yeah, Pfizer. Yo, hold on. Let me see. Advil is owned by Pfizer. I knew it. I was right on the money. Shout out to Pfizer. That's crazy. A medical podcast sponsored by Pfizer. You cannot make this stuff up. You cannot make this up. I promise you can't. But let's move on. Let's get to some super chats. Then we're going to get to a few calls. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Thank you to Deborah, who says, have you received your 1 million YouTube subs plaque? I have not. When I do, you guys will be the first one to know. I think they want to play games with that. They want to kind of gatekeep that plaque away from me because of, just how I am. Shout out to Clay Bisbee 704, who says, I need to send you weekly updates from the Seattle and Berrien, Seattle suburb. If I pronounced that correctly, the Democrat BW sheriff refuses to enforce the ban on public camping. That's crazy. Shout out to Apple again, who says, happy St. Patrick's Day, ABL. Aaron Gold Broad with the clover emojis. Apple also says, ABL, you like corned beef hash, green beer, Guinness? I don't like beer at all. Beer to me is not really my wave. I do like corned beef hash, absolutely. Corned beef and hash. Shout out to Apple again, who says, opinion on Seinfeld, favorite character, Jerry, Kramer, George, Elaine, Bonnie, I don't know, Newman, Putty, Peterman, Uncle Leo, Frank Costanza, Ramon, Jimmy, Soup Nazi. I'm going to be all the way real with you. I wasn't really a Seinfeld watcher growing up. I've seen a few episodes here and there, but I didn't really watch it. I watched Curb Your Enthusiasm as I got older, but as a kid, I never watched Seinfeld really. I saw some Seinfeld a little bit, and I respected it for what it was. I've never seen one episode of Friends ever. If you ask me about Friends, I have no idea. Never seen it before in my life, ever. I'm familiar with it. Like if I saw the show characters, I would know kind of what it is, but I've never seen it before. And Seinfeld, I don't really know all the characters like that. Jerry, I would say, because Jerry Seinfeld, I like Jerry Seinfeld a lot, for sure. Elaine, I would see the funny dancing memes, but beyond that, I don't really know a lot. So pardon me. Thank you to Devin, who says, Rams by Marmot. What you know about Marmot? What do you know about Marmot? Have you seen the Marmot Star? Yeah, I know about, that's my neck of the woods now. So yeah, shout out to Apple again, who says, economy improving, helping Biden. Thoughts? I can't tell if the economy is improving. I can't tell. Shout out to Andrea Viola, who says, don't like how America is. America has tolerated all of this. Now you are reaping what your cowardice has sown. The time for nice is over. Thank you to being there for the super chat saying multiply 9 with any number and you still will always get 9. Hi, chat. Thank you to Xantress Kane Sword for gifting 10 ABL memberships. Appreciate you for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Shout out to Lothair, who says, I give my full respect to every firefighter. I was listening to a podcast about Korean firefighters and the stuff they have to go through. It is literally, I literally teared up. Let those firemen express their opinions and let them boo. Exactly. And thank you to J-Man MVK for gifting the membership. I appreciate you, boss. All right. It's time to get to some calls. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Yeah, I did watch Living Single. Living Single was first and better. It was the same show, but it was with a white cast. Friends was Living Single with a white cast. And it's fine. It's okay. But that's just what it was. So I had Living Single. There was a need for me to watch Friends since it was the same show, just with a white cast. It's like, why would I watch another one of the same thing I'm already watching? It don't make no sense. And it wasn't marketed to me. I never even really knew it existed. I didn't know about Friends even existing until I got to be grown. I had no idea even, I never even saw it. It was never marketed to me at all. It's weird how things are, and the 90s, how things were, is much different than today. Today, you would get marketed to everything, but back then it wasn't quite that way. Anyway, let's keep on rocking and rolling. Let's go to the calls. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. All righty, let's keep on moving here. Yeah, there's no longer white cast shows. Yeah, no more of that. Back in the day, you had black shows. You still got some black shows now, but there's no more white cast shows. Yeah, and I like some of the white shows. I liked Married with Children. I like a lot of the white shows I really enjoyed. But there ain't no more of that nowadays. You gotta have a diverse cast, and diverse means gay. But I digress. I don't want to go too deep into that right now. All right, let's keep on rocking. 859, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, hold on a second, ABL. I got you. Guys, walk out real quick. Sorry about that, man. I only got you, but so if you hear a loud beep, that means I have to go real quick. We're not really busy right now, so you know how that is. Restaurant business.
No doubt.
Yeah, I was just listening to the show, sweeping up, mopping around on my second job, and I made that comment about the pod. I was listening to a podcast the other day. I'm not joking with you. I almost teared up. Some of these Korean firefighters, man, they went through a lot of abuse, and I was listening to this podcast. They went through 5 firemen sacrificing, trying to save a person. Found out later on the guy was at his uncle's house.
Oh,
they
wow.
did all that stuff for nothing.
Wow, he wasn't even there. That's crazy.
Yeah, and they had to make, ever since that happened, they had to literally change the whole Korean fire department, like, to be more professional, because they were working with stuff that were, like, out of date, not even approved for their firefighting. It's crazy. And a lot of these people sacrificed, especially during 9/11, they sacrificed a lot trying to save other people's lives. So much respect to them, man. Let them boo. Let them express themselves. I've been on here before criticizing Trump, supporting Trump. You know, some of his policies I do agree with, don't agree with. And I've called up here before, you know, argue with you, you know, agree with you about Trump. But, you know, it's America. It's called freedom of speech. You have the right to do that.
100% correct. Absolutely. Let's not stifle speech and try to, you know, have things said that is only one way. No, let's have everybody have their voice for sure.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Have you heard recently? I think it's kind of funny that these Democrats and these leftists go around saying Trump's homophobic, but yet over Mar-a-Lago, where Trump, you know, owns, he had a gay wedding there. I think it was like last week.
And it's funny how that works.
I didn't hear what you said.
It's funny how that works. You know, they're talking about Trump being like, the things to say about Trump, I never heard it until he became the Republican nominee. Before that, I never heard about it being a racist or homophobe or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it's kind of funny that they say, oh, he's racist, he's homophobic, but yet you look through his past, look through his history. This man was hanging out with Mike Tyson, hanging out with Muhammad Ali, and, you know, I mean, and not only that, Trump, you know, he hires gay people. He was friends with Milo Yiannopoulos before 2016, and I think he used to work there one time. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that, but it's funny. It's ironic, you know.
For sure.
And somebody like me, the people who are watching the show, man, it's like, you know, we all know the truth, man. We're not stupid.
Absolutely.
You know, mainstream media can lie all they want to, man.
Right
Hey,
on.
man, I appreciate the phone call, man. Yeah, the buzzer's coming. There's a car coming. I'll talk to you later, bro. Much love, ABL.
I know.
It's the Fairy Libertarian Network. Bye.
All right, shout out to my man for the calls. We'll certainly appreciate him. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. Let's go to 863. You're online. Who am I speaking to?
The truth, man. We're not stupid.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, I can't hear you because hold on, my phone is staticky. Hold on, ABL. Like, give me the remote real quick.
All right, let's turn it off in the background too.
All right, I got it. Yeah, we just turned you off in the background.
All righty, what's going on?
Hi, ABL. How you doing?
I'm well. About yourself?
Well, thank you. We're from Florida, to be exact, Davenport, Florida, Polk County. We saw DeSantis today do the bill signings. He passed a couple of bills or something, and I'm happy for it. However, in the Polk County grade, the sheriff, Chief Grady, well, he was involved in it, and they had a whole bunch of sheriffs from the Polk County. And I guess they want to target, you know, and tackle the problem of like the illegals coming. He mentioned Haitians, you know, they stopped them. They were on boats and whatnot trying to cross in from the ocean onto Florida. But also, like a couple of days ago, I go with my kids. I take them to Fun Spot, a place where it's like a theme park in Kissimmee, Florida. And those 2 days, which it was like really strange, there was a whole bunch of people there that were Venezuelan. One of the kids had like a flight pass, and he dropped it to the floor where me and my husband got to see what was saying in it, like what is said in it. And these people are coming from LaGuardia, New York. I think, yeah, it was a free pass. And it's like a ticket plane thing, right? And it said from LaGuardia, New York. They're coming from LaGuardia down here as well. So I've been meaning to like probably, write a letter to the Santi and just warn them and like take a screenshot, because I took a screenshot of that ticket and I have, that information and whatnot. Just to make them aware, because like as we were having fun, we experienced such bad, those 2 days that we went with our kids, it was so bad. They were trying to look for fights. They were getting drunk. I mean, I was wondering how did they get the money to even get drunk and afford alcohol? And, it's just crazy. And they were getting in rental cars also as well, which I was wondering, that's where I guess the DeSantis was talking about this permits that they're giving them and stuff. So it's really crazy. It's getting really crazy out here in Florida. And I just hope that he could get and, tackle the problem before it gets worse, because I don't know. I just hope Florida doesn't get invaded, These are not asylum seekers. They claim a lot of them maybe, but I mean, some maybe, but a lot of them they have a lot of issues. Like, what we experienced those 2 days, it was horrific. We went there to have fun, and my kids were nervous. At one point, one of them had a knife, and he wanted to fight one of the ride operators. The golf cart operators. Yeah, he just wanted to go at him just because he thought that he was privileged by hitting and hurting other people in the golf carts. And, he just went at him, and then the supervisor was called and he went at him too. It was crazy. It was really crazy. So I just wanted to let that out because I know you had a caller last, actually Wednesday, that mentioned that they're coming to Florida. And, yeah. Me and my family have noticed is getting pretty bad.
Well, yeah, it's pretty crazy in Florida, all over the country. So I'm glad you're able to share your perspective about what's happening out there. Because I know, it's a mess out here in the street.
Yeah, Central Florida especially. It's like, oh my gosh. But hey, let's see. I hope things get better, for all of us and all our sakes, because it's a lot happening, There was that shooting in the train in New York City where, a man got shot in the head. That was a few days ago or so. So, yeah, it's just crazy. We don't want that here in Florida. Well, you have a great night, ABL. Thank you for picking up my call.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to her. Shout out to the callers. Shout out to you guys for watching. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. 407, you're online. So let's your sugar on that one. But yeah, shout out to all you guys that are watching and calling. All right, there we go. 407, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, ABL. It's Cherise.
Cerise, what's going on?
Hi. Okay, so I wanted to comment on the Haiti crisis going on. I'm actually, I'm from Florida. So I have a lot of Haitian friends, and it's just sad, of what's going on. I do feel bad for them. I am against illegal immigration, but yeah, I just want to say I do feel bad for them, and I hope that everything gets better. But it is kind of crazy how a gang member is taking over the government. It doesn't even make any sense. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Well, thank you for your call.
Great job on the show.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
No problem. Bye.
All right, yeah. Shout out to Cherise. Thank you for the call. But I wanted to add one little thing to the whole thing about the Haitians. It's crazy what they're going through. I feel bad for all the people that's out there, the innocent people, and Port-au-Prince. Really, that's where all the crime is happening. I feel bad for everybody that's out there is just regular normies, just trying to eat and live. And you got the gang members. And I think the people that they found in that little boat were some of the gang members, night vision goggles, all that kind of stuff. You talking about violent people. And that be the thing. They'll use the people that are innocent, not doing anything, not bothering anybody to attain criminal goals, criminal actions. So yeah, great call, Sharice. Thank you for calling. All right, let's go to 703. You don't know how much speaker to. 703, hello.
Hey, ABL.
What's going on?
This is Daryl.
All righty, what's happening?
Hey, how's it going? Shout out to 757. I'm actually from that area too. So
what part you from? Like where at? What part you from?
I'm from Portsmouth.
Oh, okay,
I'm from Portsmouth.
Okay, my neck of the woods.
Yep, I grew up in Churchland, so different neck of the woods, but the same town.
Yeah, I used to live out there too. I used to live in like Churchland, like Square. You know what that is? Like by Town Point Road, all of that.
Yeah.
I used to live over there. Yeah, so in that neck of the woods.
Awesome. Cool. So yeah, I just wanted to say it's nice to meet somebody else that grew up in the same area. But getting to the point, I just wanted to ask you about your opinion on what's going on in the country these days. So obviously we know the migrant crisis is a pretty big issue, and it seems like it has been in our country for a while. Even South Park, Current with the Times, if you remember the episode that was like, they took our jobs. That was a pretty big episode back in the day. So it seems like that has already been a problem in our country, and it's gotten worse now. And I'm just wondering, with the migrant crisis increasing, we've got foreign wars going on. It seems like the government cares more about superficial issues instead of tackling the issues that are really driving the country apart. What is the end game? And obviously I'm asking you because you're more of a political commentator. You know more about this stuff than the average Joe. Obviously, you know more than I do, right? So from your perspective and your research, what do you think the end game is for these politicians who are really in office to serve the people, but it seems like they're just serving themselves? And if it's such a blatant issue with migrants who are undocumented, unvetted, crossing the border into the country, where does this go? Like, why would someone who is supposed to be serving the people allow something like this to happen? And specifically, I was watching the Joe Rogan podcast, and I noticed the guy on there said that there are a lot of military-aged men from China who are coming here now, and there's not really any explanation for why they're here. So if these people who are in government really care about the country and they see it because we see it, what is the end game for something like this to happen?
Well, the end game, for all the migrants coming over, just the crisis in general? Well,
yeah, I mean, so why would politicians who supposedly care about the American people allow non-Americans to essentially infiltrate our country? If China is such a big threat, why are all these military-aged Chinese men able to freely access the country without any type of vetting process?
Well, the end goal is to have the new slave class. That's all. I've been saying that for a while. They want the new slaves. It's just like with Tyson is a prime example. Okay, you're gonna close a processing plant or whatever it is, and then you're gonna bring in a bunch of migrants from New York City to work at another one because they can be taken advantage of, working for next to no money. It's just a new slave class. You're just trying to get maximum labor for the lowest cost. That's all it's about. That's why they're using, first it was just straight up, just, the Hispanics came from Mexico, just crossing the border. And now you can get worldwide migrants that have no rights, no nothing. You could just make them work, and then that'd be it. That's the game plan. And then politically, you can have these people vote for whoever you want. Okay, if the Democrats, Joe Biden or whoever, they're the ones who brought you in, the goal is for them to be loyal to you and vote for you at a higher clip than average Americans. So they want the productivity of these people and the votes eventually. That's the goal. And then plus, if you're able to get a lot of them in one particular area, you can get more congressional power. California lost delegates because it lost population. Okay, why not bring in more migrants? Boom, now we got more delegates. Now we got more power, more money. It's all a game. Everybody wins in the situation except for the average American everyday citizen. That's who loses. So some people gain. There's quite a bit of gain, actually, at the cost of regular everyday citizens.
Yeah, absolutely. I can definitely see that. I mean, migrants from Latin America, providing cheap labor has never been anything new to the country. So I think the thing that I'm the most concerned about is the others that are now increasing in, popularity. 60 Minutes did an episode. Joe Rogan's been doing episodes where there are Africans, Arabs, Chinese, all these different types of ethnic groups who are now coming into the country. I don't think they're necessarily here for work as much as, some groups are. So I'm just wondering if there's maybe a greater end game at play, especially when you have the president of Russia saying that every great dynasty falls at some point, and now it's time for America to go. You can either choose to do that slowly and painfully, quickly and painfully, or slowly and gracefully. So I wonder if the higher ups in the U.S. government realize that America's dynasty is falling, and they're just trying to go out kicking and screaming, and they don't really care about what happens to the average Americans. I'm wondering your thoughts on that.
That's a really good question. That's a really good point. Maybe they do realize that it's coming to an end, and they're trying to figure out how to keep it afloat, and that could also be a reason why we get involved in foreign conflict and things of this nature. And as I think somebody said it, that a lot of times when you have falling empires, they always try to bring in more people. That's like their last ditch effort at keeping the empire afloat. But thank you for your call, man. I definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, no problem.
Take care.
All right, shout out to the caller coming from being from my old home out there in Portsmouth, Virginia. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. Let's go. 857 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, come on, man. You got to cut out the BS, man. You got no evidence to think that you were saying that they letting these people in to have a second class of workers. You have no evidence. You have no evidence to say that they're gonna vote for Joe Biden.
Well, that's the hope. That's the hope. Eventually, they want to make them be citizens. They want a pathway to citizenship. I've heard that quite a bit. And of course, when you become a citizen, you're given the right to vote. That's the end game, in my humble opinion. And then also, I mean, we see what happened with Tyson. I gave you an example. They closed a factory where American citizens were working, and then we saw Bloomberg News. I showed you the clip. They were talking about there's a database of these migrants in New York City, and then they were selecting who they want from the database that are in New York City right now, and they brought them from New York to Tennessee to start working. So did I lie about that?
Well, I will say that again. You take one piece of information, one little piece, and then what you do, you promote that piece, and you say that's generalization on the whole country.
What do you mean one little piece? It's a database of 100,000 people. What do you mean? So 180,000 people is nothing?
It's nothing compared to what is
so wait a minute. If it's nothing, then why is Eric Adams going to the federal government and complaining about it? If it's nothing, I don't understand.
Well, if you want to get a job and you're a U.S. citizen, you could get a job right now. There shouldn't be a problem for you not getting a job.
Well, people in Indiana were working at the actual processing plant from Tyson until Tyson closed it. Meanwhile, after Tyson closed the plant that people were working in, thousands of them in this small little town.
So who closed the plant? The government?
Excuse me. I'm not done talking. Let me finish. Excuse me. I'm not done talking. Be quiet. So Tyson closes the plant, and then they hire, rather than taking people today, because the plant is in Indiana and they brought migrants to Tennessee. And it's not that far from Tennessee. It's a bordering state. They could have just taken the people that they fired and brought them to the new plant rather than hiring the migrants. See, this is going to be a thing. There's a whole database where they're getting people from. And then, I'm gonna keep on talking. And then, not just Tyson, but you also have politicians like your Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and everybody else talking about, well, we need these migrants to come over here and work on the farms and work here and work there. They're telling you.
Do you willing to work at a farm?
Sure, if I needed to. But the problem is the problem with farm work right now is that the migrants are doing it. Excuse me, be quiet when I'm talking. The problem with farm work right now is that the migrants are doing it for next to no money. That's the whole thing. It's exploitative labor. You're saying Americans won't do it, but the reality is Americans are being priced out of the thing by the migrants. At one point, at one point we had a 90% agrarian society. So don't act like Americans don't want to do farm work. We put the whole country on farm work. What's going on now is that the migrants are doing the work for next to no money. Just like construction. There's plenty of Americans that know how to build houses and know how to do construction. But if you don't speak Spanish, good luck getting the job. And if you don't want to frame houses for $10 an hour, then good luck getting the job. Why would you do that for $10 an hour where you can work at Chick-fil-A and get 15? See, you understand what's going on?
I understand what's going on. Migrants were working at farms. They have the guest worker program since the 1960s. This is nothing new. This is before you were born, before I was born. Okay. I'm 51 years old.
Okay, so excuse me. What is your point? What is your point behind saying how old the program is?
My point is, if you left Americans work and they decided to start a union, how much you think cost of lettuce, tomatoes, and all that is going to cost in the market? What do you think will be the price?
Well, hey, I don't know. I have no idea.
And are you willing to pay for that price? You complaining, you saying that you have high inflation rate, that we don't.
Well, look, the problem is, the problem is that we're priced out of it. And if we didn't spend $450 billion, according to a U.S. House report, $450 billion on migrants, maybe we would take some of that inflation away. Maybe if we didn't spend so much money in Ukraine and Israel and Taiwan, we wouldn't have so much inflation and things wouldn't cost so much. Now, would they?
You don't know. You have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Oh, so am I? So
have no
excuse
idea.
me. I cited a house. Excuse me. I cited a U.S. House report about the cost of migrants since summertime of 2022.
Okay.
Excuse me. You got to listen. No. Listen to what I'm saying.
So you telling?
No. Because every time you talk, I'm gonna just whenever you talk, I'm gonna turn your volume down and nobody can hear you, not even me. So I need you to take your time, relax. So I cited, excuse me. It's my show. I do whatever I want. You can hang up right now. I don't even care. I don't even care at all. Hang up right now. Look, you can hang up right now. Never call again. It wouldn't make a difference. Now I'm gonna talk. My show. This is called ABL Live, not Ivan Live. So let's just pump your brakes. Now, the House report says since 2022 summertime, migrants have cost us $450 billion. Then we got billions spent on Ukraine. We got a few more billion on Israel and Taiwan and this country and that country. If we didn't spend so much money on other things that don't benefit us directly, maybe we wouldn't be able to, there'd be a lot less inflation and we can afford to pay for certain things. Do you agree with that?
So let me.
Excuse me. The question was. Excuse me. I asked you a question. Answer the question.
Something that is not.
Excuse me, sir. I answered the question. I asked you a question. Answer the question.
Not true. We spend over $4 trillion in Iraq and Afghanistan between 2003 to since 2001 to 2010. We did not have no fucking inflation.
Oh, whoa, so sir. Wait a minute. Excuse me. You know better than to cuss on my show. Don't call my show cussing. Are you dumb?
What? No,
are you dumb? You can't cuss on my show. Can I get an apology?
You said this.
Excuse me. Can I get an apology?
Bro, I apologize, but you lying to your people in your show. Inflation was worldwide after the pandemic because productivity and the productivity of the companies and how they're going to transport the product. You know that. Why you keep saying that? Because inflation was caused by taxpayer by increasing on funding for people
so you think spending $500 billion in 18  18 months does not impact inflation from the federal government? Is that what you're saying?
There's no evidence because the value of the currency.
Spending $500 billion on migrants alone in 18 months does not cause inflation. There we go. We got Ivan, the economist.
Do you know when inflation happens? Answer.
What?
How inflation happens? Can you answer?
There's a variety of ways. One way is when you print and spend too much money. When the government prints and spends money, that causes inflation. Because I'm gonna just answer the question while you just trying to overtalk me. I'm gonna answer the question, then I'm gonna let you go. So inflation, when you print and spend a bunch of money, which happened during C-19, we printed so much money, we just became awash in money. Everybody had money, so it's like, okay, well, since everybody has money, it caused a rush on the demand for things because everybody has so much money. In order to reduce the demand, because of a lack of supply, you had to raise the prices. This is basic Econ 101. That caused the inflation. Yes, it did. Am I lying?
No, you're lying.
So there's no such thing as supply and demand.
So Japan.
Excuse me. Ain't no such thing as supply and demand.
You don't let me talk.
I mean, I could do whatever I want. I'm asking you questions. You're not answering the question.
You don't want me to talk.
So ain't no such thing as supply and demand.
With some serious.
So ain't no such thing as supply and demand.
So Japan have inflation.
Answer the question or hang up.
Inflation.
Answer the question or hang up.
The whole world have inflation.
All right. All right. Have a nice day.
So it was because they all.
All right. So there's that. But yeah, when you have a lot of money, fake money, printed money, and everybody wants to spend the money, there's not going to be enough supply to meet the demand of all this fake monopoly money. That's going to cause inflation to go through the roof. There's a variety of reasons that inflation happens, but that's one big reason. And also, not just printing money, but spending money from the government. Just print money out of thin air and spending it. That's what happens. That is a big issue. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling. Let's go to 419. You're not lying. How much you get to?
There's a variety of reasons. Hey, ABL. Let me get this. All right. This is Jesse. Oh, you have the patience of an angel, dude.
I try my best.
Yeah. Hey, I wanna touch a little bit. I want to do a Jesse live. How about that? On on the plane problem we're having right now.
Yes.
Personally, myself, well, a little bit of history. I was an aircraft mechanic back in the early 70s. One of the things that the main thing that the FAA is about is public safety of the people on the ground. All right? They are in charge of certifying airplanes when they are built. You build an airplane, you can build an airplane, but you have to have it airworthy certified by the FAA. So recently, I'm not too sure when or how this happened, the FAA has given the air manufacturers the authority to certify their own aircraft. That's a no-no.
Okay.
That's a no-no. Okay. As a mechanic, I get the work order, I do the job, then there is an auditor or an inspector who is a higher grade than my license. He comes by, okays my work, or doesn't. If it's not okay, then I got to redo it. And all this is all logged in on any work you do on an airplane is logged into the logbook. So, and as far as maintenance, if you've ever worked in manufacturing and industry like that, you learn that some things are, when they're minor, they let them go by. The next time it comes around, well, it was minor last time, it's just a little bit worse. Then before you know it, things are breaking. There's supposed to be your pilots are supposed to walk around the aircraft and inspect the outside of the aircraft, make sure every door is closed, everything's locked up, buttoned up, and tight before they take off. But that's all been relegated to, I don't have time to do that job. Hey, you do down there, make sure everything looks good. Okay, good, let's go. And this is what's happening. It's got to really lax. I've seen it. I'm not flying anymore. In fact, if you're going to fly cross country, you're going to fly like short distances maybe, you get charter a plane. Hire a two-seater. You know they're maintained. So
absolutely.
So I blame it all on the FAA has lowered their standards. I won't call it I won't call it DEI, but it's the standards across the board have been lowered in this country as far as hiring police officers, firemen, pilots, mechanics. Everybody's standards have dropped in the last 30 years, little by little. So we got so many bad cops, bad mechanics, lazy congressmen, those kinds of things.
Absolutely.
Okay, so there's Jesse's rant for the night. I appreciate you, and I do enjoy listening to your podcast every Saturday night. Good show. Thanks.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
No problem.
He's right about that. There's definitely been a quality drop in everything. Mechanics, politicians, there's been a definite quality drop, and you can see the effects of it in our society. No question. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. I want to speak to you on the line, 617.
Hey, ABL, this is Jenna in West Virginia. Really quick, I don't know if you've seen this yet. I caught the tail end of the show, but Daily Mail dropped an article, which is actually pretty entertaining. AOC's NYC district slammed as third world, as shocking video shows trash-covered streets overrun by migrants running flea markets, scantily clad ladies brazenly soliciting men at Market of Sweethearts. So I'm very interested to see how she'll reply, but the photos in the video are shocking. It's just piles of clothes everywhere. And I'm pretty sure that AOC was pretty Me Too, right?
Yeah.
And that she doesn't care that this is just going on in her district. I checked Twitter. She's pretty silent on it. So just one to watch.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I just happened to open Twitter right now and I see it. So I'm going to play that in a minute because it looks pretty crazy from the screenshot.
Absolutely. Have a good night.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Bye.
All right. Great call. And hey, that was, I just happened to open up Twitter and it was right there. So the caption says, third world country. Video shows AOC's district unrecognizable as migrants overrun the neighborhood, blocking up sidewalks, selling clothing and food. All righty, let's take a look. So it's like a bunch of clothes lined up on the sidewalk. Now, I wonder where they got those clothes from. This looks like a San Francisco street market, if you catch my drift. Piles of clothes on the ground. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I'm not trying to get loose clothing with no bags or nothing over it on the floor. Right next to the trash that's overrun. There go that music. I heard it all day long on the construction sites. Was that a baby right there? We're like, what is going on? Hold on. Am I seeing things? Yeah. Little mijo right there chilling. Like, somebody want to get the baby? Like, what is going on? Don't sell that baby. I'm calling the police, man. What is going on? Anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Yeah, you get free bed bugs, lice, all that. You get in a couple rats, roaches, whatever you want from that particular clothing pile. 262, you don't learn. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is CJ.
All right, man. What's going on?
Not much.
All right, what's on your mind?
Getting all loud with you.
You said what now?
That last caller. Why was he all like, I got giraffes and elephants and everything in my pants, and he doesn't understand supply and demand?
Yeah, that guy's, he always does that.
Is he a repeat offender?
Yeah, he's a repeat offender.
Oh, Christ. Well, you handle your business good. You got more patience than me, you know.
Well, thank you.
But I just wanted to call in and let you know that was you gotta tell him Suge Knight said good night once in a while.
I hear you.
All right, bye.
Thank you for the call. All right, shout out to my man for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Let's go to 424 on the line. Who am I speaking to? 424. I guess 424 got cold feet. All know what happened. But yeah, shout out to 424 and shout out to you guys. Yeah, cussing. It's like, Ivy, you can be cussing, man. Like, we don't do that on the show. You know better than that. Let's keep on rocking. 773 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, it's your retired Chicago police officer friend. Thanks for taking my call. ABL, there's another twist on this, illegal migrant thing. In that, it's also about losing congressional seats and all that. Because here in Illinois, so many people are moving out of our state. They're moving out of the Democratic states, California, Illinois, New York, because of these problems. And Illinois, I think, has lost one congressional seat. Here's the thing. They want to load up these states that they're losing ground on with immigrants and migrants and whatnot. One thing is maybe to give them the vote, but a whole nother thing is when the census comes to count people to see how many congressional seats you have or you deserve from your population, they'll be counted. Migrants will be counted. You don't have to be a citizen to be counted by the census. The census merely counts the amount of people living in your city or your state. And I think that's part of it. Make no mistake, these people, the left wants to break down society. They want to turn America into their communist society. That's really what they want to do. They think that their system works. But it's obvious that it doesn't. It doesn't work around the world. It doesn't work here. And it doesn't work in the states that they've kind of tried to institute it. You see what's happening in these states. It just doesn't work. And I heard another thing, ABL, and I'm wondering, there's like you've said before, there's no way to quantify it, but just how many people have crossed the border into our country. I've heard now it may be as high as 40 million, which to me is just hard to believe. But there's estimates that, 10 million people a year have come across the border, if not more. I wonder what the real number is, ABL. And I just, it's bringing and bringing more problems. And you see, you are absolutely correct with the slave class and all that. They want people to be on the government dole. This way they can control you. You have to keep going back to the government for your money. And in order to do that, you have to live by the government's rules so the government has control of you. Then these corporations and these businesses like Tyson and all that, they can then hire people for less money, make a bigger profit. Your food's not going to be any less money because they just make a bigger profit. They put the savings into their pocket, not into yours. We really need a radical change here, and I'm wondering if anybody can change it. I'm hoping Trump can change it. I like Trump also on the international stage because these leaders of these countries, they don't have Western thoughts. They don't think like we think. You saw Putin years ago, no shirt on. He's on the horse. You remember that, ABL? You remember that picture? Putin's on top of his horse with no shirt on, like Rambo or whatever. You have North Korea. These people are megalomaniacs, a lot of them, and you need somebody crazy like Trump. And I agree, sometimes Trump is crazy. He just blurts out what he wants to blurt out, and he puts these people in their place. He strikes fear in people because they don't know what he might do. They become afraid because, you know, he becomes dangerous to them. That's why, you know, I seen it in my own career, ABL, because I was fortunate enough to have an old-fashioned police career when I started and to have the new-fashioned police career when I ended. And believe me, it's more effective when people fear the police. There has to be, the criminal must fear the police, not the citizens, but the criminal. And once you no longer fear the police, you no longer fear the justice system, you turn people into criminals that may have not become criminals. Some of this just walk in a store, take what you want, do whatever you want. It just degrades society, and we need to get a handle on that. Otherwise, we're doomed for as a country on the whole. You know, you just can't take care of your own citizens then. Hopefully, you know, we get our mental health as a country, we get our mental health back, and we get some people in here to put us on the right track and to show the children that the parents know better. They know the right thing to do. This other path that you're taking is like an adolescent teenage path that goes nowhere, and the adults can see what's happening, and we need to make these changes. Anyway, that's my opinion this week, ABL. Thanks for taking my call, and I'll talk to you later.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, ABL.
All right, great call. And that will be a wrap for me. Shout out to you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. I'll be back live again on Wednesday, same bat time, same bat place, 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to everybody for watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you're doing. I could not do the show without you. I most certainly appreciate y'all. This is also an audio streaming podcast you're listening to right now. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether that be Google Play, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description. Or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live, and that should pop right on up. If you're listening to me right now on those platforms, please give me a 5-star rating or review, whatever you can do. I most certainly appreciate you. But shout out to all you guys again for watching. Shout out to everybody that's watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you're doing. I couldn't do the show without you. I think I got all the super chats here. Thank you to Papa Nia Shelley, who says, I haven't been out sipping that sauce. Daggone. By inflation, got my boy stressed out. Yeah, for real, cussing and everything, stressed out. You know, them mojitos cost a little bit more than they normally do, huh? But anyway, shout out to you guys. I'll be back live again on Wednesday, and I'm here every day all throughout the week putting out content. And, of course, I got to tell you guys, y'all please subscribe to Uncle ABL. The link for my new channel, talking about more relationship and finance and health and fitness eventually, those kind of things will be on the new channel. My latest video is talking about feminism and the matriarchy and things of this nature. Street interviews from the It's Complicated YouTube channel. So shout out to It's Complicated. Thank you for reaching out to me and allowing me to review your stuff. I appreciate you, boss. But I'm going to go ahead and spam it. Like I said, I'm going to spam it a couple of times throughout the show. Once at the beginning, once at the end. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, please do so at Uncle ABL. Easy to find. I'll be putting out a lot of content there. I'm going to try to put out one video every day. Maybe not Sunday, but pretty much every day I'm trying to put out one video there. Then I'm going to get it to a regular, consistent schedule of about 2 to 3 videos a day. So that'll be it for now. I will see you guys next time. And until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out and peace.